it's a kid's birthday. We're not going to pull him out of the race. He just drove right through the back of the gate. He didn't turn. And the gate came up and smacked him in the face.
So there were these rooms above this race shop. The landlord that owned the shop, he was like, yeah, man, it's like $300 a month.
I feel like buckle up. I'm about to scare my own self.
I'm like sprinting as hard as I can, like catching up to this truck. And dude, I opened the truck and he had the keys. So I go to hit the brakes and there's no power brakes. So I double foot this thing and I'm like pressing as hard as I can. 15 minutes later, this jet buzzes us and I've never seen a private jet bank so hard, dude.
Dude, is that where they bring the police cars out?
Yes, Officer
dude,
Blaze. Shout out to that guy.
Yes.
Dude, that guy throws down.
If you were about to spin out or something, what would you do?
I would clutch in, right?
I would try to stay in one place. Because if you just
I'm loving this. I'm glad y'all have no idea.
No, they're going to be strong, though. If you're welding in flip-flops, they're going to be some good welds.
They said that I couldn't do it, so I went and did it. W's only, you know I've been.
Welcome back to the #1 Drift podcast on YouTube. I am Dawson, and we have today
Kevin Courtright.
Caleb Stogsdill.
Damn, y'all are on it.
We've
Y'all
been
know.
listening.
Bros,
We've
y'all
been
know.
listening.
Hell yeah.
I've been on 100 podcasts.
All right, so before we get into the podcast, of course, go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell notification if you are not doing that. I don't know why you're not, because you're already here. So check below the video. If that button's still red, go ahead and click it. And I had an idea for if any of you guys have been listening from way back when we did the car reviews. I didn't really like doing those because it took up too much conversation time and stuff like that. It was cool, but like you said, the people that only listen to the audio they just kind of skip through it anyway. So
Yeah, I just couldn't follow.
yeah. But I want to cater to both sides. So what I decided was doing a kind of highlight reel for the outro of the podcast. So a lot of you have seen basically it looks like a phone on the outro where it's scrolling through the content. That would be your reel playing on that. And basically the gist of it is make a reel of your car, tag me in it, and you came up with this idea, which was the likes instead. I was going to say views, but you made a good point that some videos with a lot of views don't necessarily get a lot of likes, so we're going to go by likes. The video with the most likes throughout the week is going to get to be highlighted as the outro of each podcast, basically. So go ahead and do that. Don't forget to tag the podcast on Instagram specifically. I won't be counting TikTok or anything like that. Cool.
Mint.
Hell yeah. So that was all I have for the intro. So yeah, you guys want to give an introduction on yourselves?
Cool. Yeah, like I said, I'm Kevin Courtright. I drive a 2003 C5 Z06. Really nothing, just a angle kit and a hydro. And I've been drifting, I did my first event back in 2017, and then some stuff happened there.
Yeah, we'll get into all that.
Yeah, and then I got the vet actually in December 2019. Then I did another event in 2021, and then I had another gap. And then 2022 in December was my first event, and I basically was like, this year, all I'm going to do is drifting. Like, I'm not going to save no money.
Balls to the wall,
just,
baby.
Like, spend all the money.
American muscle.
Christ.
And then I have a pretty unique. Oh, well, I'm Caleb Stogsdill, first of all, but really unique drift car. It's a Nissan 350Z.
Oh,
Yeah.
unique, they say. Yeah.
The only ones at every event.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to come.
The floods of them.
Yeah. But drifting newbie, of course. But I was big into road racing and stuff. Doing stuff like that. Not competitively, but just like open track days. Grip driving, I guess you could say. But I bought the 350Z 2 years ago. Not wanting to drift it at first. Just kind of when I lived in Kentucky, just a cool backroads car.
Yeah. Something
And
to
then
drive around and have fun.
Yeah. And then I really wanted to move back to Houston. And Kevin had, he did a drift of me.
Hounding him.
Hounding me. Like, all right, man.
Hounding.
Fine. I'll come.
So he did the first drift event, and I saw it, and I was like, all right, we're doing this.
Yeah. I was like, dude, you got to do it.
Yeah.
You got to come back.
Right.
I got a house, dude. I got a room, man.
Well,
not my house. I rent. I can't afford that.
No.
That's why I drift.
Drifting, yeah. Can't afford a house anymore. But,
Yep.
I mean, we did a drift event like years ago.
Yeah, 2017.
Yeah, like long time ago. And I don't know why we never got hooked. I don't know. It was
just
just
didn't grab
It
you?
was hooked, but I was also going to college, and I had
Oh,
a
that puts a
4-chin
damper on
Camaro.
shit.
So I had a 2001 4-chin Camaro. That thing was a boat, but it was really fast. It had the previous owner swapped an LS6 in it. It was cam,
Okay, cool.
just like a
yeah.
baby cam. I think it was like a 216 duration on like a 235. I can't really remember. It was like a
Yeah.
boost cam.
dude, right around 3,500 RPM. It sounded
It sounded like
like a truck, dude.
It sounded like a dump
Blah,
truck
blah, blah,
because
blah, blah,
it was a big old 3-inch Y pipe, and then I kind of it actually already had a cutout on it,
Yeah.
and it was like I just took it off and just left it
Oh.
off, so it was just like resonating off the ground, and it was.
fuck no.
But I was like, I was 19,
Young and
20,
dumb, baby.
yeah, and I was like, this is probably why I can't hear that well anymore because of that car, but. Man, at like $6,000, that thing would scream.
It was pretty sweet.
Yeah. But we took it out and I hit up Caleb. And I
Yeah.
was like, dude, there's like a drift event, man. Like he
Yeah,
had a
because I
Miata.
lived up in Dallas Fort Worth at the time, and I had
Yeah.
a Miata. And I have a buddy that actually he was the one that kind of got me into drifting. Because I rode with him one time. And he like threw it in sideways on purpose. I've always been with people like, oh, just like, oh shit, like,
Yeah.
just trying to catch a slide, but he threw it in on purpose, and like, I was like, whoa, that was
That's a thing?
amazing. That was so fun. And then he just like mess around in traffic, like, or just like U-turning real quick, just do a little clutch pop. I'm like,
What? Clutch pop?
Not
Clutch
clutch kick.
I had to
it's
get
it's
shit for
like
that one.
soda pop.
Oh,
Yeah, nah, I'm
wait,
just kidding.
wait, hold on.
No, we're
Do
just.
people actually say that?
clutch
Clutch
pop?
pop?
No.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
why
I was about to say, if there's a fucking area of this country out there that says clutch pop, fuck all of y'all. That's
Yeah,
weird.
out sliding on the streets, pop the clutch everywhere.
That'd be like the most
jump a Coke can.
northern fucking thing ever if it was. Sorry. Anyways, but
But-
as you were, my bad.
No, but so we went to this event, and dude, so it was $25 to like
Oh,
just
yeah,
go
we were
like.
talking about this a little bit before.
Yeah, it was insane. It's like just show up and you roll up and it's this dude just comes riding up on a motorcycle. He's like, "You guys driving or spectating today? Driving, $25."
Dude,
You give it to him. He gives you a
Say less,
wristband.
say less,
Yeah,
dude.
and he just drove off, and it's like,
You're not gonna check my car?
Yeah, like, I
Because we
guess-
used to do autocrosses when we
Yeah.
first got our license.
Yeah.
Just like, because I feel like autocrossing is a good gateway when you're like young and you don't have a lot of money.
yeah, a good gateway to
Because it's just
motorsports
kind of
in
like,
general.
I mean, I was looking at, doing track days and stuff like that. And I was like, I cannot afford that.
No.
But, like, it's like $40 and you go out and stand and watch people and pick up cones.
and it's literally 2 minutes of track time.
Yeah, but,
like-
when you're young, you're like, anything, just frothing at the
do
mouth just to do something.
If it weren't for autocross, though, we probably wouldn't be as into cars and like driving
Honestly.
and stuff.
Yeah,
So,
honestly.
but
But, yeah.
so that event though. So like we went out and we were like, I guess we just start like drifting. Like, what do you do? Like,
Yeah.
and
We rolled
so-
up with just tires and
Yeah.
Well, okay,
like-
so what all did y'all have in the truck? Like ready for the event?
we drove.
Yeah.
Like I drove from Houston to Dallas
truck?
to
Okay,
go
so-
do it with a buddy
No
in my
truck.
seat, with a buddy in my passenger seat. And remember, you need a tire, like you need another set of wheels. You messaged some guy on Facebook Marketplace to pick up some shit. Miata
Oh,
wheels. And
dude.
like it was $25 for 4 wheels.
Yeah, it
And I
was
meet this
awesome.
guy at this like gas station. He's like, well, Caleb was like, can you go pick up these wheels? I'm like, all right. So I go and I pick them up, and he's like, they hold air. I wouldn't drive them on the street. I'm like, it's fine. We're drifting with them.
Perfect.
He's like, cool. And he's like,
Oh,
threw it in my
And
trunk.
they were
and I was
dry
like,
rotted to hell, so it was like, like no power.
Yeah.
To be honest, it was like
Oh,
perfect.
Yeah.
God.
yeah. So I actually had a buddy come with me, and then I had 4 tires for my car, and then I had his 4 wheels in the back of my Camaro. I don't know how I did it. It
Yeah,
was
baby.
busting at the seams, but we made it up there.
Oh my god.
It just like, and then like just go out drifting, and It was funny because at one point we were like, "Oh, dude, let's get some sick videos," like, because we're like, we think we're the shit. Like, I held a slide, dude. I bet I can do some donuts around you, dude.
Yeah, so like I stood in the middle and Caleb did some donuts around me. But the thing about that was,
this was at the event.
This was at the event.
Okay, hold on. We gotta slow down real quick because the event host obviously.
I don't know who it was.
Do a goddamn thing.
Well, it's gone.
It was just
R.I.P.
Did you say it was a parking lot?
No, so it was like
a parking lot.
So it was on an airstrip. So it was
holy fuck.
But it's like obviously not on the tarmac, but it was like
acres of concrete.
Yeah, it was like where hangars would be built, but they're like, I guess we never built it. So it was just
we
like
ran out of money. Whoops.
Yeah, pretty much. And it was just as far you can see it's concrete, but it was really rough.
Yeah.
It was just sandpaper, like 120 grit.
Oh. Yeah, it was
one grit.
Bad.
Okay, so there was no organization to it.
Well, they had cones and
they
there
had
like
random people in different areas drifting.
So there was like a main track.
Yeah, there was a main track.
And like there was like a starter that would like watch. And it was like 3 circles, really. I think it was just literally 3 circles of cones and you could kind of do your own layout.
Yeah, you can kind of do your own thing.
Your face right now. Whoa.
Hey, it was $25, man. And then they actually had like a little skid pad and they like put 2 cones so you can like learn to do figure 8s and stuff like that.
So what was nice is you could do like technical stuff tight, but you could also, if you really wanted to, you had enough space to throw it in at 80.
Yeah.
If you wanted to.
Yeah, there was people that were out there. I was like, oh my fuck. What are we getting? What are we doing right now? Like, oh my God.
It was
$25.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then the best part is
what year was this again?
This was 2017.
2017. That's still not that long ago.
No.
I feel old.
$25.
Yeah, $25.
And now, good luck trying to find an event for less than 130.
Yeah.
Well,
Drift Corpus, I think, has some pretty cheap ones.
It was like $80 to $100, something like that for a day.
We're not that lucky.
Yeah, it's nothing special. Don't get me wrong, but you go there for the people that are there.
Yeah. So while you're like out there watching the big track, you saw in the distance like, what the fuck is going on out there? There's just 2 motorcycles just drag racing.
Yeah, and doing wheelies and stuff.
In another section, some guy's just doing a fat burnout. And then I'm like, what the hell is going on out there? And they're like, oh yeah, you can just go back out there and just,
bro.
Yeah, you can just go out there and just burn your tires down.
We're probably doing a disservice to this place. Like,
I didn't know what to think, right? Like, this was our first drift event, and I was like, what is going on?
Y'all got the wrong taste for a first drift. That's why nothing happened. Why the gap was there.
Dude,
it was a lot of fun, but it was just like, I was still broke. Like,
yeah,
I had to travel up there and on the gas and Camaro. It was not cheap, but I would like, I'd go and wear the tires down, and I was like looking, I was like, oh fuck it, let's go in the back and blow up the tires. So we drove
sweet donut video stand in the middle,
yeah. So we just go out there and I just start fucking laying into it, just big old burnouts and stuff. I'm like, God damn, these tires won't blow up.
Yeah.
And then I had the hood open and I was like, oh, we're in trouble.
Yeah,
there's like a truck
rolling up.
Yeah, everybody's in the back of the truck. Dude, I was like, oh,
I thought we were gonna get toasted.
Yeah, and they came up and they're like,
what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, well, yeah, they came up and they're like, you all right? I'm like, yeah, it's just hot. Okay.
Bye.
Just okay.
Not even let me know if you need anything.
Yeah,
just okay. Bye.
Go later.
Yeah, I guess for anyone that did drifting in Texas, this is the Mineral Wells events. So I'm sure there's some people that'll be like,
I know I've got some Texas viewers, dude. If you were there at that event, comment.
Well,
I
think it wasn't just that event. I think it was that like every time it.
If you know what they're talking about, you went to one of them.
It might have been a fever dream that we had. Like, I don't know if it actually happened.
No, but it was awesome. The Mineral Wells events were just fun.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
It was cheap, obviously not very organized, but it worked. It worked.
Yeah.
There was no like crazy incidents or anything though.
No, nothing happened. Like no one like crashed or anything. It was just like, all right.
It was also acres of concrete. So like, how can you crash?
I mean, when we say like it was big, oh my God, it was big. Yeah. When you see the bikes, they're like, you can barely see them. You can almost see the curve of the earth.
It looked like fucking ants.
So,
oh yeah.
It wasn't like a takeover or anything either. It wasn't like that chaotic.
This was like back before takeovers and stuff.
Well, I know.
But yeah,
it was. Think of a crazy event and you think of a takeover. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely like people were like, "Oh, this guy's doing some crazy shit." Just I'll go over like 500 feet that way
Yeah.
and just go do my own crazy shit. So everybody was spaced out. It's not like everybody's in the same spot.
That's hilarious, though.
Yeah.
Well, it's just a chaotic event. This is what it sounds. A
Yeah.
controlled chaotic
Sure.
event.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a good
Sort
way
of.
to describe it.
Oh,
Sort
yeah.
of.
Kind of like drifting. It's just chaos, but in a controlled manner.
Nice.
They said, "How can we preoccupy this slab of concrete and get a tax write-off at the same time?"
I wouldn't be surprised. But unfortunately, that place, they started like, oh, we're going to build hangars in that spot. So it died.
Well, there was also
yeah.
like big autocross events out there, very organized now. But like,
yeah, it's
it was like-
autocross, right?
It was like this autocross series where you would both like. It was kind of cool. I kind of wanted to do it at one point. It's like you start, and it's like a mirrored layout,
Mhm.
and then you like end up at the same place. So it was
Huh.
like relatively cool.
So that's kind of like one of those gymkhana things, right?
Yeah, or like yeah. Like
Yeah,
rallycross
because you would just
kinda.
like race and then
Yes, yeah. So it was
Yeah.
kind of cool, but
you don't really hear much about those.
no. Yeah,
Mm.
Gymkhana events. They
Yeah.
kinda died off, did they?
I've gone to one of them. Slide Factory over here used to. I don't know if they still do or not, but they used to host some. It was kind of played off of Hyperdrive, which
Dude,
is
hell
that
yeah.
exactly what you're talking about. But
Yeah.
like, I went out and took the drift car out there and tried to like drift as much as the course as I could, because like he encouraged you. He was
Yeah.
like, "Do it. We'll set the cones back up. I don't give a fuck."
We're
I
paying
was like,
these
"Dude,
Yeah.
say
Man.
less." All right.
They haven't been working. Go pick them up. Cones.
Yeah, yeah. Which I actually had him on the podcast. But one of the clipping points where you did a figure, or you just did a donut around it.
Yeah.
They were the big ass wire barrels,
Ooh.
and dude, I would just barely tap my fender on it, and it would just ding it in so hard. And I
Ooh.
dinged in both of my brand new fenders. Like
Oh.
this is just 2 events after painting my car. I was
Golly.
like, nope, I'm done. Pack it up.
You were
Let's
just
go.
going for it.
Fuck this event.
It's a clipping point. You're supposed
Yeah,
to get
yeah,
as
that's true,
close
that's
as you
true.
can to it. So I was doing just that, and I would
Oh,
barely. You'd see it just barely move, and I'd come back to the pit,
Just
and there's
no
a
give.
fucking massive dent, and I'm like, what is the
Oh, that would
cheap ass
piss me
fucking
off.
fenders?
Oh,
well,
man.
and the wire barrels are just massive. I was
Yeah.
like, dude, I could have brought you some tires.
Right? Yeah. Like,
I have a shit ton.
just like drive on the highway for like 20 minutes. You could probably find a few.
yeah.
Dude, remember? Okay, so speaking of just like, I'll bring tires. So we have a neighbor, and his name's like Ricky, and he's an old guy. He's like one of those
Fucking
old guys that
Ricky,
just
brother.
like, you see the door roll up, or our door roll up, and he'll come over on his bicycle, and he's like starts shooting shit. Like he's an old like.
There
hot
goes
rodder.
an hour and a
Yeah.
half.
No, dude. Like an hour and a half if you're lucky.
Yeah.
If you're just like, all right, I gotta,
He's
you
just one of
know,
them good old
go.
boys.
Yeah, he's
Good
really
old boy.
cool, but it's like, you know, it's the same stories every time. But it's like,
Yeah.
I like talking to him, but if I'm working, I'd get nothing done.
Oh,
And
no,
if it, because
absolutely
it's
not.
hot.
Yeah.
You're just standing out there in the sun. You're like,
You're like,
Dude.
yeah, man. Yeah. Sounds good, dude.
Yeah.
yep.
It was great.
Yep. It's one
Yeah,
of those where you're like,
okay.
you think that the conversation's going to end, and then you just like, oh, well,
Oh, by the way,
what about these
last
double
week I
pumpers
did
on
the-
this stuff? Like, what the hell,
I had this
man?
gum last week. You won't believe it.
Oh, my
Hey, look,
God.
strawberry flavor. They make that these days. Like, yeah.
But he was like, he's really into Harleys.
What's the name of your neighbor like that? We all
Oh,
got
yeah.
him. We all got him.
Bobby, Ricky,
It's
Jimmy.
always a Ricky or like Bobby Joe or something like that. But he came over. He's like, yeah, I was just at a friend's Harley shop, and there's this kid that works there, and he's like asking, like, do you know anybody that has like some used tires? He's like, oh, I know these guys drift. I'm gonna go ask them. So he comes over. He's like, pulls out a whole sheet, but it only had one like number on it, and it was like, do you have 265 35 18s? And I was like,
Do
well,
I?
as a Corvette drift guy, like that's all I run. So I was like, do I have some spent tires for you?
Please take them off my hands.
Yeah. So I was like, took him back there. I was like, here's the stack. And he's
And
like,
if it's
How
bad
many
enough,
do you need? Take a
oh
look.
yeah.
if it's bad enough for like, I guess new drifters to be throwing them away, they were pretty bad.
Yeah. And he's like, it doesn't matter. I just need some tires. And I told him, I was like, all right, Ricky, you can like just take him to this kid.
Yeah.
But one condition, I can't see these again.
Yeah.
Just drop them off and just be like, you're your problem now.
Yeah.
And the ones I
So
gave
how
him.
do y'all dispose of your tires then? Because
Yep.
like we have a place.
Yep,
in
we're just
Clarksville.
gonna move on with that.
They
It's probably
tires,
frowned
I don't
upon.
know. I forget they're there.
Yeah, they just
They are
Ricky
thrown
takes
away.
them.
Yeah.
There's some place apparently in Clarksville that'll take 10 tires a day for free.
Shit, really?
I was like, oh, hold on. I'll drive an hour and a half.
Hell
for
yeah,
that.
dude! Just fill up the truck.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm not gonna
So-
say where I dump mine.
Okay, you don't like.
I'm not
Classified
dumping them.
you
I'm
don't-
not dumping them.
Yeah, you don't.
Time out. Classified information.
Yeah, you
If I
don't just-
tell you, I gotta kill you.
He's not just dumping them in a river or
Yeah, I'm not-
like
yeah,
in the
it's not
forest,
like-
for the record.
Yeah, I'm not polluting. We'll put it like that. But yeah, so I was like, when I gave it to him, I was like, dude, I don't know, man. Like, is this kid going to drive on him? He's like, yeah. I'm like, dude, I'm letting you know right now.
Be careful.
I was
Also,
like,
sign this waiver, please. Have him sign this waiver. I'm not
Dude.
responsible.
Pulls out your phone. Say I'm running these, but it's not my problem.
That's what I'm saying. So like,
I consent.
he was like looking at me. He's like, do you have some that aren't corded? It's like, dude, you think I'm
You're
gonna,
Those are
dude,
mine.
I'm gonna
What do
keep
you
using
mean?
them if they
Yeah.
don't have cords? Like, what the hell? So he's like, yeah. So he just put him on his handlebars on his bike and just rode off. I was like,
Oh.
all right. And then like a
This
month
thing
later,
sat in his garage forever.
no,
I'm
he
sure.
took him immediately. He took him immediately to that kid. So I saw like I had the garage open, so he
Naturally.
came over, right? I was like, ah. All right, what's
Oh,
up, Ricky?
fuck.
Like, God damn it. Well, I guess I'm not working on anything today. So he comes over and we're just, shooting the shit. And I was like, oh, by the way, what happened to those tires? He goes, oh, yeah, dude. I showed him them. And he's like, oh, yeah, those are perfect. I was like,
For who knows
I
what.
was like,
Nailed it, buddy. You
like,
did it.
I was like, well,
So
does he want
proud.
more? Because where is he? I
You never
could
know.
give
He
him
might pop one. Does
That's-
he need another one?
dude.
Yeah.
I
I
got
mean,
spares.
it's really close to popping, so it's probably gonna happen pretty soon.
Yeah, I was just like, okay, well, dude, give him my number and I'll just give him all my spent ones.
Yeah, come back from the event. Hey, meet me at this gas station.
Yeah, they're like, I got
Before I
5
get to the
miles out of that
house.
one. I only got 5 miles. This one you can get about 10.
Could you imagine if somebody just keeps trading those off?
Dude.
Holy fuck.
And,
Oh,
and in,
alright.
well, in Houston also, I mean, this summer was an exception, but the rain's coming.
Yeah.
I would not drive on those if
Yeah.
it's wet outside.
Yeah.
So
it's
who
Houston.
knows?
It's just a swamp,
Yeah, right.
especially hurricane season.
Yeah, like,
Ooh.
Brutal.
Ooh.
Hell yeah. All right, so let's get back to the events.
Oh, yeah.
So what was your takeaway from the $25 event?
Oh, I loved it. But I was also going to school, so I went to Samtech. So I was kind of like, I didn't really have that much money.
Yeah.
And I was kind of looking at events in Houston. I'm like, dude, I can't afford that.
And for
You
him,
know,
it was
How
like
much
4
were they
hours.
at the time?
honestly, I don't
Like, on
remember
average?
How much were tires?
the event,
Oh,
Events,
like Houston events.
oh,
I
yeah,
can't
don't
remember.
know.
I would say about
$70, $80.
Probably,
something like that.
yeah.
I mean, I was college and I was like, I can't afford this, right? So I was also kind of building a motor on the side for the Camaro.
Oh,
So I was
cool,
building
okay.
an LS3 and we called it Project Fire Sale because all parts I was buying was like either used or on sale.
Yeah.
The only obviously I bought new bearings and I bought new forged pistons because I was like, oh look, they're half off today or something like that. So I built
half
this.
off and shiny.
I will say
It's
$4,000.
mandatory.
$4,000 for the block. Well, everything built and it made 588 on the engine dyno. It was pretty good.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then I built it. And then the owners of the school were like, "Oh, we got this guy that wants to do some R&D on his intake, and we need like kind of like a street build, heads cam, all that stuff. And like,
Yeah.
can you bring it back?" All right. So I
I
loaded it
guess.
back in my truck, drove it there, and I wasn't there when when they were running it. And I told them, I was like, "Hey, I got stock rod bolts. And by the way, stock rod bolts in an LS do not spin over 7,500 RPM. You will blow it up."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Hey," and the motor was only going to see $7,000.
Mhm.
It wasn't like I was like, screw it. I'm not going to get ARPs because it's not going to see over 7.
Yeah.
Well, I went to work. I got told like the next day that they're like, "Oh yeah, dude." Even Judd, the owner, he was like, they revved it up. They loaded the dyno at 7,200 RPM. Like, so before they even made the pull, they loaded the motor at 72 and then like spun it to 78. And I guarantee you it hurt. And they're like, well, we made the power number And then they just gave it back to me without telling me.
Oh.
So I did all the swap, put it in the car, and I started driving around. I'm like, dude, why do I have no oil pressure? Like, when we pulled it off, it had great oil pressure. I'm like, dude, what the hell is going on?
Kevin Courtright.
Dude, I know. So everybody still makes fun of me. Like, I build blow-up motors and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, it was fine. So I was driving it around on my birthday, and it was actually, I was coming home from a friend's house on like 12 o'clock, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna just send it, right? So I just floored it down the highway. I was like, I mean, it held together. Fuck it, let's do another one.
Yeah.
So at the top of fourth, like $7,000, it fucking lets go. And it just shit the bed. Dude, it's just like all of a sudden, nothing. I was like, oh,
everything
fuck.
shuts off.
And I was like a mile to the next exit. So I was like, all right, looks like I'm just coasting all the way to the exit. And I like came by the entrance and there's actually a cop that rolled up. And I was like, I can't stop. So I like blew past him at like 95 or 100. But I'm sure he saw my like, Speed Racer smoke screen coming out the bag. So he's like,
poor guy.
The trail of oil.
yeah, he's just like,
you.
well, he already had enough of a bad day. And he just kept driving. And I pulled over and I looked under it. And I was like, ooh, yep, I know what just happened.
He got his ticket instantly.
Oh, yeah. It was
Justice was served for that guy already.
Yeah, I know, right? So I called the tow truck. I was like, hey, I have a Camaro. Like, I need a flatbed. Don't be bringing the regular ones. I was like, I need a flatbed. And they're like, no problem. They brought, I didn't even see anybody. And they just called me back. They're like, yeah, he can't load your car up. So we're going to have to grab another one. I was like, I told you to grab a flatbed. Yeah. So now it's like 4 a.m. and I got work the next day. And I got to wake up in like a few hours. So I finally get it on the flatbed and just they're like, where do you want it? I was like, just fucking put it in the street. I don't give a shit. And he dropped it in the street. And the funny part is I left it in the street for like 2 months. I was like,
dude.
No.
I was like,
Just heartbroken.
Oh yeah, every time I see that car, I was like,
Just goes and buy a tarp just to put it over. I can't look at it every day.
So we moved houses, and I actually I started tearing it down in my mom's garage. I was like, all right, I need to figure out what happened. So I was like kind of taking it apart. And I was under the car. I think I was like taking the starter off or something. Then all of a sudden I looked up on the motor mount. I was like, pulled this off. I was like, oh fuck, that's piston. And then I was like, I reached up again and I found the wrist pin lock. I was like, oh fuck. It's not like just a normal it's like, oh, I didn't just like hurt it. I fucking grenaded it.
All of it's gone.
I have I actually still have pictures of it because I actually sold the car off to a friend. And he's like, I was planning on rebuilding it. And he's like, dude, I'll give you some cash for it. I was like, I mean, how much do you want? How much do you want for it? Or how much are you offering? He's like, $3,500. I was like, yeah. I was like, here you go.
Cash money, baby.
He's like, dang, I thought I was getting a good deal. I was like, I got a good deal. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
We're good. So he pulls them I pulled the heads and I saw that the valve reliefs on one of the pistons is 180'd. I was like, fuck. And then I looked at the head and the valves are just
parabola.
They're kissing. They're kissing. And so now that sits on my desk with actually the blown up piston. It sits on my desk as paperweight.
Yeah.
Very expensive paperweight. Oh yeah. And then so I was actually in North Dakota at the time working at the rig because I blew the car up and had no money. So I went and worked in North Dakota to work on rigs and stuff. He sends me a picture and it looked like someone open field, just bird shot my whole windage tray and everything. It's because the powder rods, when they exploded at 7,000, put 3 holes in the block and just destroyed everything. I couldn't, the block was fucked. It was so bad. So I was like,
what did you ever say anything to the shop? Did they ever do anything about that?
I mean, at this point, I was like,
this is probably way long after now.
Yeah, it was a lot later. Funny story is I saw that guy again. So I knew a guy that owned a race shop. So I was kind of over there shooting the shit with him. And I actually saw the guy and he comes up to me. He's like, hey, my name's that guy. And I was like, oh, he doesn't even remember me. I was like, okay, well, I don't like you.
Yeah,
But I was
fuck that
like,
guy.
yeah, I
Boned
was
to pick
like,
with
but
you
at that
too.
point, it was like dead and gone. Like
Yeah.
I forgot. I just didn't care about it. I wasn't holding in the garage. But I was
That's
like, yep.
Fuck
Like,
him.
Fuck
but
you,
that's
dude.
good.
Like,
yeah.
but I mean, I kind of sold all the other parts for. Luckily, the valves didn't hit my it didn't really fuck up that much. So I was able to just replace the valves and they were good. So I could sell the heads and they were ported heads.
Oh, cool.
So I was like, I got some cash back from that, and then I actually traded those heads to my roommate for some. I'm trying to.
Is that the headset?
Steven has.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
but it was guns. I traded it for guns.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine.
I just didn't know if it was like because it's on YouTube, they don't
Right.
like that
Yeah.
word and stuff like.
Demonetized.
I know, right? So I'm trying to like think about that. So I was like,
As long as we don't make the whole video about it.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
but yeah, I just traded it for him, and I was like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And then
Well, now you have the vet because of it. Weird. Everything happens for a reason. Now
Yeah.
you got the vet because of it, though.
yeah, and then after coming back from North Dakota, having money burning in a hole in my pocket, I bought a vet back in December 2019, right before COVID. So I got it for a good deal.
Bar.
So, okay, did you buy the vet expecting to go back into drifting, or did you just want the vet?
I was actually, while I was up in North Dakota, I was like, oh, when I come back, I'm going to I want to get into drifting.
Yeah.
And then I was kind of like, Mineral Wells just shut down. And I was kind of like looking, I was like, I didn't really know what I was doing. I was like, I need to come back and figure my life out first.
Yeah, and I didn't live in Houston either, so it's like no one else was interested in drifting with you, right?
No.
So it's like
I mean, besides
Damn.
Caleb, I couldn't get
Yeah.
anybody to go. Like, none of my friends want to
That's
do it. They're all like drag racers or they do HPD and time attack stuff. So I was like, come on, man. Like, come on, man. Just try it out. Just try it out. And they're like, no.
so
All right. So I just I bought it
Have
because
they
I
even
was
gone
like,
to a ride along yet?
yeah.
And they still aren't.
everyone's psyched about it,
That's
but
crazy.
Yeah.
well, Jonathan he's gung ho. He was a hardcore like track guy, and now
Yeah.
he's been going to events.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
we're slowly transforming everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
I was just like, come on, just here's a
Right.
little bit. But yeah, he's been doing more drift events this year than track days. And I'm like, dude, that's a sign, man.
Yeah.
It's a sign. Just turn your vet into a drift vet. We can tandem and stuff like that. It'd be cool. 2 C5Zs. And he's like, no. I was like, all right, well.
Nah.
But he's like, I got that angle kit.
But Dawson's, I guess to answer your event, so like why it didn't hook from was your first question, like why it didn't
Yeah, yeah.
stick.
Oh, true.
So when
Well, more
I
or less what you got from it.
okay, so like the only reason like I wasn't really into drifting at the time. I had the Miata and I was hardcore grip driving. Like
Yeah.
that, because I worked at the racetrack, I lived at the track. I don't think I lived there at the time. I just worked there. So I was like
You lived
really
at a
into
track?
it. Yeah, I used to live at a racetrack.
That's
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
You want to talk about access to a track and get bored of a track?
Yeah, I like
Let's get into that in a minute.
Okay,
Carry
yeah,
on,
yeah. But so I was really into grip driving, but like for me, I was like, all right, I want to learn to be a better driver,
Mm.
but in order to be a better driver, you have to learn to control oversteer. So I was like, I'm gonna go to this drifting event just to teach myself how to do oversteer. I
Okay.
was like, I'm not gonna get to drifting. That wastes
Yeah.
tires. I was pretty what is it? Drinking the Kool-Aid of like the track guys. Like drifting is stupid. Like,
One of those dirt bags.
yeah.
and so I did the event. I was like, shit, that was kind of
I'm gonna
fun.
eat my own tongue now. Thank you very much.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I just was like, the grip driving route is what I was really going for. But I mean, what I got out of that event was, it was just really fun and like, well,
It was
the
so
event
laid back.
it was chill.
Well, it was too laid back, but
Yeah.
Well, it was like chill and everyone is like so cool. And like for like the grip driving stuff, you have set sessions. You only get X amount of track time. But
Yeah.
with this event, like I remember we were like drifting. We're like, let's go eat, I guess. And we went to go eat. And then it's like, dude, I want to go out again. You just go out and drift again. So I was like, man, it
also seems like less. When I say less
Free-for-all
serious,
almost.
when I say less serious, it's more like I see people more hanging out, and then
Yeah.
like if you go to like track days and stuff, they're like fiddling with their
Oh, yeah.
suspension setup, and they're just like, oh my god,
like,
I
I
didn't.
went 3 seconds slower that lap. Like,
Yeah,
are you having a good time? Yes. Like, are you sure?
It's so much fun, but I'm slow.
I'm having a great fucking time.
I'm like, all right.
And then you see, like, the drifting guys, they go out like, dude, I just fucking smoked those tires. Hell yeah. I'm like, I like these guys.
Right,
They're really
yeah.
laid back.
Yeah,
I
it's,
completely destroyed the rear of my car smacking that wall, but
Fuck you.
hell yeah,
Oh,
dude.
yeah,
It looks
dude.
badass, though.
Yeah, I was like, man, I like these guys.
they know how to
So-
party.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, the drifting community, I was like, man, I really like that. But like I said, I was just so hardcore into doing the grip stuff. I don't know why, I just didn't get like hooked then.
Yeah.
I don't know what it,
For me, it was money.
yeah, I guess.
And what I was doing at the
driving.
time, I was kind of focusing on college and
Yeah.
stuff. I was just like, I need to get my shit together,
And
which I really
explains
didn't.
everything.
Yeah, and for you, it was like a 4-hour drive for you
Yeah.
to go to the affordable events.
Yeah. I was like, ah. And then I was like, I could go and hang out
Which,
with them.
like, thinking about that now is like
It's like-
4 hours. That ain't shit.
Fuck, man.
Yeah, that's
why
true.
I should have
That's-
capitalized on this
Right.
when I did.
I've driven almost 10 to go to clutch kickers.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about
Which
we want to
was-
go.
That like I wouldn't trade that for nothing. That was an experience of a lifetime.
Yeah, we actually have a buddy going out to Mid Pond, which the next one.
Amazing track.
Yeah.
He's driving
Experience-
from
that's,
Dallas
That's
to
another
go.
one that's just like an experience of a lifetime. You can't.
We
get.
want to go,
Yeah.
but we're
There's
just
no
like,
other track like it to me.
yeah, we're just trying to figure out our logistics on going.
Yeah.
So I guess we kind of have like a track bucket list. What should be on our you have to drive?
I feel
Yeah.
like
I
Mid
assume
Pond,
Mid-Pond's on there, right?
OSW. I feel like.
Yeah. Well,
OSW, this is a vibe. Like I want to drive there, but like it's not. I wouldn't say a bucket list.
yeah.
Mm.
It's,
It's a skid pad. It's your average
Sure.
skid pad event, but like there's some really cool drivers there, and a lot of like fun stuff happens off track
Yeah,
that just hanging out.
yeah. We also want to do little Talladega.
Seneca
Dude.
circuit, though. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Especially with the new stuff they've done to it. But that, dude, it's like a year in advance. You just have to hit one of Scott from Grip Royals events. Like that's the way to do it.
Okay.
But I don't know how he's gonna dictate who gets to drive in the upcoming ones.
and then he'd be
but-
like, "Who are you?" Like, come on, man. Like,
Yeah,
I have
we're.
a
I mean,
350Z.
that's why we're new. We're trying to.
yeah, you gotta
make
work
our
your way
names.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, that dude, it's either work your way to something like that or
Right.
pay $2-3 grand to rent it for a weekend.
Yeah.
Well, we were
you
like-
can't do it for less than like 2 days. You can't.
Oh
rent
yeah.
Oh,
it.
no,
we
yeah,
were
that's what
talking.
we were
we're
saying,
like,
like,
we were already
3 days
planning.
minimum.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
we just have like, being in Houston, we've gone to multiple events now. It's like we have a good bit of buddies now that are
Mhm.
into it, and so many people talk about it. It's like I think we could easily get 20 people. I don't know what like the limit is there,
It's 20, I think.
20,
Yeah.
but I think if we put some together, we could probably get 20 people to
Yeah.
be out there.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to be a drifter.
And he'll like, like with the last Grip Royal event they did, they you can still have like your campers and stuff set up outside for people to sleep. Like if you have more than 20 people, that can be worked out easily.
yeah.
I'll just
So
sleeping bag on the ground because I can't afford a tent.
Money was already allocated to tires.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, and gas
now, I don't
and
know
fuel.
if that was like an event specific circumstance that they did that or what.
like a
but,
one-time thing.
Yeah,
Almost. Yeah.
Maybe they'll do it for like big party event people that are renting it out. I don't know.
Hopefully, that'd be cool.
I don't know what the insurance waiver is like for something
yeah.
like that. It's got to be wild.
Oh yeah,
Can't imagine.
just drifting in general.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
ooh.
not even just that.
Well-
The amount of shit you can do there.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's way more than just drifting.
Oh yeah.
Drifting is like 10% of what you do there.
Yeah, I try and get like, I try and tell my buddies and their like wives, I'm like, look, they got like a pool and they got
a fucking
other
baseball
stuff.
field.
Dude,
Like,
yeah.
What the fuck?
I was like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to get them like, look, you can do other things. You
Yeah.
don't have to be doing
do
with
you
us.
like to fish? They
Yeah.
got a
Right.
pond.
I was
Dude,
gonna say.
If they had pickleball, we could fuck up some pickleball. Too.
Oh, hell
I'm
yeah.
sure they fucking do.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, because we make a court in our big ass driveway and we play.
It gets heated.
Tight.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it does.
Oh wait, okay. So what were you? What
So
were you saying?
I just like so I heard you say one track. Like what are like bucket list tracks? Like
dude, for me, Seneca Circuit. Have you ever heard of that?
Seneca- I
No.
don't think I have.
Okay, so it's about 10 hours from here. I think it's in Virginia or some shit.
Ooh.
But it's like a mile long.
What?
It's the closest thing you could get to like a Toge style event
Ooh.
until Drift Indy started doing the Appalachia events.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
That's
we
like
we were watching that.
money Toge events.
So cool.
Dude, yeah.
All that
But,
media
like,
that came out
this
of that.
is just a mile long back road fucking that has all types of elevation changes.
have I not
Like, it's
heard?
crazy.
Dude, I
Look
haven't
it
heard
up.
of this.
Circuit.
Vaughn's been there and done some media and stuff there back in the day.
Okay.
But Seneca's one of them. Oddly enough, E-Town.
Okay. I
Yeah.
mean,
Because it just looks like
Yeah.
super fun. I've been there, being in the center doing media.
Oh,
on
yeah.
track. It's crazy.
Oh yeah.
Especially the road course there. That's a really fun.
Yeah, that road course, like, it looks
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, and then NCM in Atlanta.
Oh.
okay. NCM. I thought that was for some reason I was thinking the Corvette Museum.
Yeah. No, wait. I think that is NCM.
Yeah.
They did one event there. That is a bucket list track, actually.
Yeah.
That's not the
We-
one I was thinking about, but
Okay,
I was
I said
gonna
gotcha.
say on our
Okay,
trip we
so-
went there.
Yeah, we went there
Yeah,
a
we
couple
just-
days ago. It was awesome.
they
Yeah.
did one drift event there so far this year, and it went well. So
That's
hopefully
good.
there's gonna be more.
That's good.
But shit, what track was I thinking of? Atlanta Motorsports Park.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because
That's a
they
cool
only
one.
do it once a year.
On
Because
of
they,
sound
they,
ordinance.
They do it on.
Oh, okay.
The 4th of July events.
Oh, okay.
Because
Wait,
4th of
Oh yeah,
July
cause, yeah, because all the
has no
fireworks.
sound ordinance.
Yep.
So they can open the track up for that day and do an event. That's why Drift HQ did their 4th of July event.
Okay.
I did
I
not
was
know
about
that.
to say,
That's
so
cool.
is it on a kart track? Is that the one with the kart track?
No. Well, I mean, they have a kart track. They got a
Okay.
fucking pool in the middle of the pit.
Yeah, dude, it's like a
Dude, you
resort.
can, yeah, swear to God.
I didn't
it's-
know about this. What
Dude,
the hell?
it's
Beautiful.
badass.
It's a beautiful track. And it's a
Oh.
long fucking road course. And you can only see like a quarter of the track
Oh.
from where the spectators are. The rest is all back in the fucking woods and shit. Like it's amazing.
That's
That's
cool.
sick.
Best
That is
motorsports
cool.
park I've ever been to, like personally.
Add it to
Ooh.
the bucket list.
Yeah.
So is it
All right.
sketchy? Is it sketchy to drift?
No, because like it's very professionally built for
Mm,
road course racing.
sure.
So like no matter where you are on the track, there's like 60 feet of grass
I
before
love
you
it.
hit anything.
Walls still scare me.
Yes. Yeah.
I've hit plenty of them.
Oh, not with my
haven't-
fiberglass. My fiberglass says otherwise.
Oh my fiberglass in the rear on the driver's side is cracked from backing it into Beachman wall. on
Yeah,
the Super.
I don't want to have to
I
fix
feel
the
like
vet.
once you get that first big hit though, it like I'm sure it's just like yeah, fucking
Yeah.
Yeah,
full
after
on.
that you're just kind of used to it.
right.
Then you'll be coming up to one like about to hit something. You're like, ah, fuck, no, come on, not again.
No, dude, it's
no.
Then you're like,
Oh,
oh,
damn.
shit.
Oh,
Okay.
Been here
Fuck.
before.
Yeah.
Fuck this piece of shit. I don't care if it's broke. Back it out and force it back to the pits.
Yep.
That's why that one dude flipped. You remember that video? That's why his fucking car almost flipped. It jumped up in the air and then slammed back down.
Oh yeah.
He slammed into the wall and he was like, fuck
Yeah,
it.
and then
He's
just
mad
coil
as
over
shit.
like.
His wheels like this and he's just fucking dragging.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I remember that. And like the coilover or whatever, like sprung out and like almost tipped it over.
Yeah,
right?
like the coilover snapped and
Yeah.
the preload let go.
yeah.
But he was like turning in to get off the track, which was like over a little hump. And as soon as that wheel got over that hump, the spring just let
Let
loose
go.
and like shot his
God.
car up sideways and then went boom.
You
And
never
just
saw
see
that?
his face. He's
don't
like,
think I have.
fuck.
Oh, dude, it is crazy. Yeah, he almost like, and then
Oof.
just.
It was wild.
Well, I will say so for our events, I think we're fortunate in the fact that the tracks don't have walls
Yes.
like the ones we go to
because our local track is the Houston Police Academy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
MSR Houston, which is, like a road course, like the worst you can do is like, well, catch the grass on fire. Some people over here. Anyways.
Yeah. I was
do
doing
it.
some stuff, and I was trying something, and whoop, right off the track, right in the middle of it.
Dude, I
It's-
came by
yeah.
and I was like, what the hell? Kevin's
Yeah, I
like,
was coming out
a
on the track,
mile.
and Caleb came coming around and laughing at me. I was like, yeah.
and then he pulls off and like I'm drifting, I'm sideways. I'm like, damn, that's a lot of smoke from that area.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh my God, the grass is on fire. And it's like, we
Yeah,
had to
I
go
was
tell
like-
the guys like, Yo.
I did that.
Oopsies.
Headers.
But yeah, like when I used to work at the track, like we were on that shit. Like when stuff caught on fire.
Yeah.
So it was like,
Okay, so tell me about that stuff. You said you lived at a track.
Yes.
Is that what you're talking about?
yeah. Well,
Worked
so
there?
so when I went to college in Arlington, and so I was really into car stuff. I actually went to do something called Formula SAE,
Okay.
which is like a collegiate design engineering competition. Really, it's like these little open wheel race cars, basically.
Oh, sick.
Like
okay.
yeah, like like at least at Arlington, we built like 80% of the car, like tube chassis. There was a rule book.
Yeah.
We made our own aero, like carbon fiber, and they had well, the one I drove for comp was a 450 single cylinder, because the most
Nice.
at the time the
Okay.
most you could have was 600 cc. But these things were awesome.
Yeah.
So it was like like an autocross race, but it was also like an engineering competition. Like you had to justify why you built your uprights like this, and
Yeah,
why you
of
did
course.
aero. But so, anyways, that's why I went, to school in Arlington, was for that program. So, like, I was into it and like really into it. I worked at a K1 Speed.
No, we
You
both
know,
did.
oh,
Yeah.
dude. Got some stories for that. place, too.
Yeah, you want to talk about crashes, dude?
Yeah, we let's just say the public is terrible at driving. Oh my gosh. You never
What was
realize
all right, before we get too deep, what was the worst crash you saw there?
at K1 Speed?
Yeah.
So I'll let you tell the one like that we both witnessed, but the worst I saw was this lady that was like, I don't know why at the time, she was wasted. And she was
Classic.
just like driving, and so the carts have this like little part where you like, here's the pedals, and then it's like a little like edge,
like-
I guess.
Yeah, and people always put their foot there.
Yeah, and I always
I don't
told
know
them
why.
like, don't do it because you can hurt yourself. But this lady, full speed, just boom, slams it. And dude, and she was like, oh, like I hurt my, like, oh. And so we stopped the race, we run over, and she like tries to stand up and falls over, and her ankle was like, and it was like, oh my god.
Oh.
And I'm like, dude, I was like, I'm about to pass out. Like, oh
Let me get my ass out the
Yeah.
fucking way.
But yeah, so this lady was just like, and we had to call all the ambulances and stuff. But
Dude.
a random side one, the funniest accident I ever saw at K1. So there was this, it was a normal race, and some kid like spun out, and we have the controllers, like we control the speed of the carts, like can shut them all off, speed them up individually.
A lot of people don't like that. There's a reason why.
Oh, yeah.
Like, y'all suck at driving.
Yeah, you need this. But like, so like this kid spun out and it was going the wrong way and I just stopped all the carts. And so they don't just stop instantly; they like coast to a stop.
Yeah.
But like, the kid was going the wrong way. This guy came around and like, just like, like not even that hard. It's like and just spun the kid, and this guy gets out. He's like. He gets out of the cart,
just throwing a fucking fit.
and he's like walking, and I was like, "Sir, the exit's this way." He's like walking to the back of the track, and like, fuck guy, like,
You're disoriented
come
as
on,
shit.
dude.
Come on here, dumbass.
dude, yeah. And so he was all like all pissed off, and it's like, dude, whatever. And so like you don't want to race anymore. Clearly, like, get out of here. We gotta, some people aren't pussies, basically. Like, and so like they're going around, and all of a sudden, like 15 minutes later, it's like these two ambulances pull in front. And then it was like a fire truck. We're like, what the hell? What's going on? This dude called 911 and said he was in a head-on collision at K1 Speed.
No, he didn't.
Yes.
What a
And
fucking joke.
Dude, it was so funny because like you saw the paramedics walk in, and they like these like two cops walked in first, and the paramedics walked in with the stretcher, and the cops were like,
Forget about
yeah,
it. You're being a
it was
bitch.
like, dude, it was like, brother.
Wasting that tax dollar.
yeah. Appreciate it, bro.
I was just about to say that. Way to waste our fucking money.
Yeah, but these paramedics were like, are you fucking kidding me? But yeah, that was probably the funniest. Like, dude, is this guy serious?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is the story he's telling you to
Yeah,
say?
we
So
both
yeah,
looked at the one
I
in
got two
Houston.
stories. Well, like my worst one, and then the one we saw. So the one we saw, it was this classic. It was the kid's birthday.
Yeah.
And this kid was just all over the place. And it's like the problem is that there's 4 speeds. Obviously, 4th speed is for guys that can drive. 3 is for the normal, like, general public. 2 is like, this person can't drive. Like,
You're
we're gonna put it.
You
We'll
know?
put it on speed 2, but there's some people that still can't drive on speed 2, and we can't put it on 1 because that's like pit.
Yeah, it's dangerous. That's
So-
like walking
Oh my
speed.
God.
Yeah, and it's like it's the kid's birthday. We're not gonna pull him out of the race, like, you know. So we just kind of kept everybody else at the same speed, so there wasn't really any like no one's going fast around him, right? Well, he just drove right through the back of the gate. He didn't even turn. He just drove straight in the back gate, and the gate came up and smacked him in the face. And like they have helmets on, but when you drive into a barrier, it's gonna hurt, right? This kid takes his helmet off and he broke his teeth.
Oh,
Dude.
fuck.
Dude, blood all in the cart. There's
Happy
just
birthday.
yeah, and then the mom was like, "You idiot." She was not mad. I was like, "Thank God," but she's
Yo,
like,
what a fucking embarrassment.
like now I have to pay a hospital bill too, right?
Yeah.
And we're like, "Oh, Caleb and Kevin, go pick the teeth out." And we're like,
Dude, and like we put on like these gloves and like had to
like
clean
3
out
layers
the pool
of gloves,
blood,
like hazmat suit. Like
use like a whole bottle of Windex. Like, oof.
the party continued though. They kept racing
Continued, yeah.
They kept racing.
without the birthday kid.
Like, all right, scrape them off track. Let's
Pretty
go.
much. I was like, well, y'all got like 2 more races. Y'all want to race? Yeah, well, duh. I was like, okay.
Can you start it again? Let's go.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So my worst one that I saw. So we had this kind of a new guy that was mastering. Like, you know, he should have known better. But there's this like little kid. And he's like, I want to speed 4. And it's like, we always go, no. right? Like, no. Well, this kid, he's like, oh, yeah. Like, I'll put him on speed 4. First lapped out. Like, just drove it into another barrier. Like, the back barrier. And, like, so the old barriers with that kid that broke his teeth, like, they moved a lot. Like, these weren't really cemented down. These are, like, guardrails. Like, they were made to, like, not go under or anything.
You ain't going nowhere if you hit this motherfucker.
Dude, I was just, like, plugging carts in or something or helping people with their straps and stuff. And I just hear this boom. Like, I was like, oh, fuck. Like, because you can hear, like, boom, but I was like, that's serious. And then you just start hearing this kid screaming in the background, like, oh, fuck. Like, so everybody's just running, right? Running. I was like, I'm coming up on the scene. I'm like, dude, I am going to see a limb missing. Like, oh, my God. And this kid is just getting like, he went under the barrier and is stuck. He's stuck under the barrier, and like the whole steering column is like pinning him to the cart, right?
How?
He's pinning to the cart, and so we have all of the workers are just like trying to like yank this out because we can't pull him out of the cart, and he's getting crushed. And we're just like yanking on
I
it,
can
trying
only
to hold.
imagine like
he's
7 adults yanking on this kid's legs.
dude.
Like, come on.
What's even worse is that all the customers started getting out of the carts and helping us. We still couldn't get it out. And then people are hopping the barriers.
Grab the angle grinder. Let's go.
Dude,
Come on.
It was about to get there. We finally get it. And I was like, oh, dude, I'm going to see a limb in here and stuff. This kid walked away with like scratches. I don't know how.
What the fuck?
But I was like, the way the kid was screaming, oh, man. I was like, it was the worst, right? I was thinking of the worst. And like the dad was like fucking jacked, right? He was a big guy. And I was like, oh shit! He's like,
he put it on
he's like, you good? He's like,
he put it on top speed.
I didn't do it.
Yeah, I was like, and he's like, you good? He's like, well, you look fine. All right, we'll just sit it out and just chill out.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, yeah, man. Like these guys are cool. Like, I was like, oh god, I was like so scared, but luckily nothing
Dodged a
happened.
bullet.
But it was horrendous.
Oof. And I'm sure I have, more, but probably not enough time. But dude, it was.
Yeah.
Let's just say it was interesting.
Hell yeah.
Like working there, you saw a lot of shit.
Yeah. You really realize instantly, like, man, people can't drive
Dude, and then you're like,
sure.
wait, this guy has to drive
home.
Oh yeah.
Whoa.
This man's getting charged of a 5,000-pound vehicle.
Dude,
just-
it's like,
Yeah, just to let you know, we see you out there driving carts, and we know you're out there driving real cars. It's like faster too.
really opens your eyes.
Yeah.
I think you should have your driver's test redone at like age 60, 65.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Maybe 65 plus. 60,
Yeah.
I feel like is still fairly normal.
Yeah.
Although,
Dude, that sounds so bad. I'm sorry. If you're over 60,
What the hell,
Remind me to
Dawson?
do that.
I thought we were cool.
It's your point to prove, like, I still got
You're
it.
not old. I promise. You're not old.
You're
It's just a
retired.
test, just to make sure.
Yeah.
You got nothing else to do. You're
Making sure
retired.
you're there, still
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
right? You're still in the video? Cool. All right, keep
Exactly.
watching till the end.
Yeah, you just
Anyways,
see
let's
like
get back now. All right, so let's get into the living there situation. So
Yeah.
why were you living there technically?
So I worked at the track. I got a job as an instructor at like one of those like you get to go drive a supercar on the racetrack. Some dude rides with you.
Oh, sick. Yeah.
Yeah. So I worked at one of those. And at the track
Any
was
crashes there? No.
thankfully no. Oh my gosh. Crazy people though.
Yeah, if you thought karting was bad, put him in a Lambo.
It was my tolerance for being scared in a car is way too high now. It's dangerously high. Like you can go like slide and I'd just be like, "Eh, whatever."
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot we were here. My bad.
Yeah, like, oh, shit. But so at the track was like a shop, and above one of the shop was like these living quarters, and the idea was supposed to be like the drivers with tons of money have their car at the shop, and then they go upstairs to their room, like chill.
Who the
But
fuck's gonna want to do that?
exactly,
I want to go to my hotel.
yeah. But so there were these rooms above this race shop, and the landlord that owned the shop, he was like, "Yeah, man, it's like $300." I was like, "A month?" He's like, "Yeah, man. Oh, but what about like electricity and $300 for everything?"
What?
Yes. And I worked at the
Dude.
And you got access to a track, like
Yeah.
a full-on track,
So-
Whenever you
1.7 miles.
Yeah, I mean, anytime it was a member day, I would just like,
What?
dude. So it was a setup. So
Oh
I
my
had the Miata.
God.
And what was nice is like these, the dudes with way too much money would go do their
Always.
spec Miata race or whatever, and do like a qualifying session. And be like, "Oh, those are shit now. They've been through 3 heat cycles." They just throw them away. So I had unlimited access to like tires that were relatively fresh. And anytime it was a member day, it was like, I kind of want to do a couple laps. I just like strap up, just like, what's up, Chris? Like,
Dude,
go on
that's
out.
hilarious.
And this sounds very like, but like I had
$300. What?
Dude, I had so much access to the track that I got fucking bored. Like, and it was in a Miata, so I'd be
You're
like,
the $300. This isn't worth it anymore. I don't know.
and so I'd just go out and drive, like, do a couple laps. I'm like, all
Just
right.
kept it pinned because
Yeah.
it's a Miata.
Yeah.
Just,
And so it just like it like got boring. Like track driving got boring in a Miata. Now at the track or
But Miata is always the answer, Caleb.
no, it's not.
It's a Miata
Yeah,
bullshit. No, it's not.
But what was really cool when I worked at Drive Exotic is like got not access, but we did what's called thrill rides. And so it'd be like, all right, Caleb's gonna be your thrill ride driver. And my responsibility was to take the passenger and try to like scare the shit out of them in whatever car they chose. It was great. Like oh, we're taking
What
out
a
the
job.
GT3.
Yeah, I know, right?
Dude, we're taking out, we didn't do the McLaren 720 a lot, but every once in a while, the McLaren 720, the Viper, AMG GTR.
dude.
It was sick. It was sick.
Be like, buckle up, bitch.
Dude, here's like a 23-year-old.
I'm about to scare my own self.
But dude, I'd love to fuck with people and be like, yeah, man, they heard me yesterday. They just said to take you out. They'd be like floored. And they're like, oh God.
Yeah, every person that gets in, so it's my first day.
Yeah.
I hope you're having a good day.
Right.
We're about to go on a great ride.
Just got my license.
And I think with one guy once, I was like, yeah, dude, I can't, I wrecked really bad once and they're letting me do it again. So like, I'm really
No,
gonna
I'm
have
just
some fun.
thrilled to have this opportunity.
And the
again.
guy's
I got to
like-
prove myself, so we're going hard.
So it was awesome, man. But dude, so living at the track, and working at the track, just interesting people, interesting
Yeah.
scenarios. So there was one time, so the owner was like, the Drive Exotic was running, and he was like, hey Caleb, like help me, unload my bulldozer. I need to go like mow something. And so I was like,
Oh God, yeah, you told me this.
I was like,
Oh God.
all right. And so like, first of all, he puts the bulldozer, like this big ass tractor on this gooseneck being pulled by like an F-350. And so this truck is maxed out. And like the tires on the trailer are like, you know, almost flat, even though they're at like 70 PSI. And so we pull up to the side of the track that's still running, and I'm like a little sketched out. Like, you know, like if someone comes flying off, it's my ass. And so,
Well, you're in a bulldozer. Well, you're in an F-350. Would have
yeah.
been. Dink.
Well, I was watching him back off. He's like, "Hey, can you watch?" Like,
Oh
you know,
yeah.
and
That's
so
true.
I was,
Oh yeah, you're out of the truck.
So I was out of the truck watching him back off, and so it was like a pretty good like downhill. And dude, he gets to a point where it's so far back that it lifts up the back of the truck to where the parking brake is useless. And dude, the truck, the trailer, and the bulldozer start to slowly roll down the hill. And
It's like a scene from Whistling Diesel, bro.
Yeah, the owner of the track is in the bulldozer.
And so I was like, oh fuck. And so I'm like sprinting as hard as I can, like catching up to this truck. And dude, I open the truck and he had the keys. So I go to hit the brakes and there's no power brakes because he has the keys. So I double foot this thing and I'm like pressing as hard as I can. And dude, the truck is like, go, 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 go. And dude, it starts to like, I was like,
Jackknife.
Oh, yeah. I was like, oh. And it stopped. And then like, he pulls off and he's like, that was interesting. And he just like continues on. I was like, like,
We almost died.
I was like, bro.
One of those where you got both feet in and you're about the lumbar support on the,
Oh my God.
like the seat just breaks and it's
Yeah.
just like all hell goes loose.
Dude. And then, can I do another funny story?
Go
Hell
for it,
yes.
bro. Who cares?
All right. So
Welcome
probably one of my
to
favorite
Circle
stories.
of Drift Comedy Show.
Yeah, I know, right? Track show. Living at a track.
CODP after hours.
Yeah, I know, right?
Dude, so I worked with an interesting guy. Let's just say his name is Joe. So
Is this the one
His
I think
name's
you're gonna
Bubba.
say? Is it?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah. So So Joe worked at the track before me. And one time there was a dog that got hit.
Yep.
Oh,
This is
There was a dog that got hit, and so like, you know, we were like the track lifeguards essentially. So we sat up on the grid, watched the cars go around, controlled the
Useless job.
yeah.
basically.
Yeah,
just-
make sure that the cars don't go off
yeah,
track.
yeah.
Your only job is to, hey, there's a car that went off track.
Yeah.
Go get them.
Right, yeah, we go pick
Control
them
tower.
up. Yeah. And so before, you know, in the morning, we just check the track, make sure it's all good before the track went hot.
Oh,
And so, like, anyway, so he one time had to, like, literally, like, clean up a dog off the track, essentially. So,
my God.
Poor
poor
dog.
guy, traumatized. But anyways, this guy was intense, just in everything he does. And so one time before,
Doesn't want to happen again.
believe me, he didn't.
Yeah.
And
He made sure of it.
Dude. And so we get radioed before the track is hot. He's like, oh, there's a dog out on track. And he's like, oh, shit. And he was like, I was driving. He's like, Caleb, go, 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 go. And he like, I was like, okay. And he's like, he turned on all the lights and stuff, like, so that the lights are going. And I'm driving. He's like, call 911 now. He's like, cut across the grass right here. And so I'm like, you know, flooring it pretty good. And the truck's like, go, go, go. And it's
Yeah, it
like,
was an F-352, so you're like coming
Dude.
out of the truck.
dude, with like a huge water tank. In
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Like this thing was
Oh,
loaded
God.
down, and so it's like
You're sitting there just, boy.
yeah.
Like one of those semi trucks,
Dude.
right? Like,
Yeah.
but more intense.
Dude, and so
obviously.
this guy, like, we're riding. All of a sudden, he like reaches into his waist and like pulls out a 22, and I was like, oh fuck. And so,
Are we going into combat right now? What's happening?
and so he rolls the window down, like gets out and like is sitting outside, like hanging on, sitting on the
This-
windowsill.
That's like some Fast and Furious
Dude,
stuff right
it
there.
was.
Fast
Dude.
and Furious took notes from this event.
But at
They
one
saw
point,
it.
At one point, the gun's kind of like this, and I'm like, dude, like
Watch
stick that
it.
out the window or something. And so he's like hanging out the window with the gun like this.
Where's
Some
media?
old Western.
Where's the media at?
That's why there's no media.
And so I was like, Joe, like, what is your plan? Like, He was like, I'm gonna shoot near its feet to scare it away.
That's his F-350 with the tank on the back, and it's just mowing down this, not mowing down, but it's chasing this dog. I was like, I'm pretty sure that dog is scared for his life right now. You don't need to shoot at it. Like, I'm pretty sure it's scared, bro.
But anyways, we never ended up seeing the dog, but that was an interesting
You didn't even
scenario.
find it?
No. So all of that for nothing. For nothing.
I thought y'all did see the dog.
No.
Oh,
we never.
this is even better.
So we were driving around for a hot minute while Joe's hanging out with the handgun, dude. Like, he's ready to shoot at this dog.
But at his feet, I'm just gonna scare it.
And like, you can't tell me that you're accurate. Like, you know. So that was it was some characters.
Oh, so by the way, at the track, like I went and was at the track one day, and I found this hilarious. So we're just walking around the track, and you know those avalanches, like the Chevy
Avalanche, baby.
Yeah.
Yes,
Hell
Scott.
yeah.
You know what? Yeah.
Well, it was
Scott,
the Escalade
Shane,
one.
I know you're watching right now. Call it, baby. Avalanche.
Dude, the Escalade one, right? This guy cut a hole in his like that target top and dropped his gooseneck in it.
Oh.
And this
And
thing
it's a
is
Cadillac.
like, it's like Carolina squat.
Yeah, I was like,
Oh.
dude, that guy's like, well, my wife said I can't have a truck, so I'm gonna use her truck or something like that. Like, you can't get another truck. We already bought another truck, so he just took a hole saw and just put it like into the target, like the target bed thing, and it's just like a gooseneck that's sitting there. I'm like, dude, what the hell is this? This is awesome.
And then
I want to see you drive this, motherfucker.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, what the
dude, so I guess one more. So there was this guy. There was this
one
guy.
more.
So he he was like a trust fund kid, but he was old. He was like, don't offend anybody. like 60. We're just creaming these 60-year-olds today.
Experienced.
So anyways, he
Experience of life.
he wanted he was a guy that always came, and he'd always like post up in front of like, our business, and he would just like be listening to Katy Perry and his BMW, like smoking cigs and drinking beer, like for no, like, what are you doing here, dude? like
he's not on track. Like he doesn't go.
No, he just came to just hang with us. It's like, and none of us.
It's
really,
Ricky.
dude. And so
There's a Ricky everywhere.
And so this guy, like, he always claimed, like, I got money, but like he was trust fund, so like he didn't have access to this money, and so he was
Still
like,
waiting.
he was like talking to one of the. He was talking to like one of the girls that worked there, like, how about you and I, go to the Bahamas this weekend on my jet, and we're like, dude, this guy's full of shit. Like,
what a charge,
dude. Yeah, like,
look at jabroni.
and she's like, no, like, I'm not going with you. And so like this guy's like, all right, well, I'm going anyways, and I'm gonna fly over with my jet. And we're like, dude, whatever.
Sure, you are, you glorified frat boy.
Yeah, like, cool, man. And so like me and the manager, we were like, dude, this guy, can you believe this guy is full of shit? And so he's calling the owner. He's like, are you guys outside? Are you guys watching? Dude, sure as shit. Like 15 minutes later, this fucking jet.
You never told me this one.
Yeah, this jet buzzes us in. I've never seen a private jet bank so hard, dude. This private jet banks and buzzes us again, and I was like, he was alive.
Well, I guess he is going on the Bahamas now. Look
fucking
you,
about that life, I guess.
That was interesting too. But
Holy shit.
dude, you never told me that. That's hilarious.
yeah, it was.
God, dude. I'm
That was an
dying.
interesting
How'd you
guy.
forget to tell me about that one?
I don't know. There's just so many
I know,
stories.
there is so many. Golly, that's awesome. That's awesome. It's Top Gun.
Seriously. So
Why'd you leave this place?
that's a good point. I needed to make more
I know.
money.
I would get
This is
access.
amazing.
I would get access, and you'd be like, Kevin, why don't you come up and just spend the weekend? We can just go out on
Dude,
the track.
that's my vacation home from
Dude,
now on.
yeah,
Fuck
like-
it. Like I'm gonna keep it, but I'm going to buy a house.
Yeah.
This guy had an open invite anytime to come drive the track whenever. Guess who never came?
Yeah.
You pussy.
What the fuck? Dude. So I came back from North Dakota. I bought the vet, and then COVID happened, and so I didn't recoup my money from buying the Corvette. So it was kind of like shit. Like oil crashed. Like, everything happened, shut down.
You could have just driven the Miata on the free tires.
You never told me that.
I did.
And it is what it is. It's fine. I also couldn't afford the tires.
Anyways.
Bro.
Yeah, I couldn't afford the tires on that vet, dude. That was expensive.
Where do we go from here?
I'm just trying to get my life back together.
Oh, yeah, why'd you leave?
Yeah, why'd you leave? Let's go with that for now.
I mean, so like,
Because I was bored of the track.
I mean, it's just like at the end of the day, like,
It's my family.
Yeah.
well, like I was capped at how much I could make, and it was like,
How much were you making?
I think it was like $70 an hour. Not like terrible,
Oh, so that yeah.
but like that's the most I'm gonna make. And it's like, it's like, oh, in 3 years you can make $750, which like at the time for my age and the $300 rent, it really wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But I had.
You're also out in the middle of nowhere.
Yes, it was out in the middle of nowhere. Like we got a Dollar General and I was psyched. I was like, hell yeah.
That's how you know it's small town. Like, they didn't even have the Dollar General.
Dude, and then we got one. It was game changer. But
We finally
groceries, baby.
we finally hit that minimum that is going to have a Dollar General be built.
it had to drive 30 minutes just to get groceries.
There was a Dairy Queen though in there, right?
It was a Sonic.
We finally made it to middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I know, right? Because it's
We're not
Dollar
off
General
grid anymore.
and Dairy Queens. If you don't have that, you're basically just a home in the side of the road.
Oh, dude, it was. Well, we did have the gas station with this taqueria.
A
Like,
quick sack
dude, it was so
or something
good.
like that.
It was. Oh yeah, I can't remember what it was like at Texaco, but it had this like little Mexican food restaurant that was amazing. It was really good.
What the fuck?
Oddly enough, in the gas station.
Dollar
it was really
General
good.
gas station and a Mexican restaurant.
Hell yeah.
That's all you
Texas.
need, baby.
Texas.
Texas.
Welcome to Texas.
Yeah, pretty much. Especially in Houston. The
yeah.
food down there. Ooh. So you want some street tacos? Texas.
Top notch.
Yeah.
Houston, though. Dallas doesn't have good tacos. Just saying.
Damn.
Fight
Shots were fired.
Fuck. I just came from Dallas.
me. See, now you got to come to Houston, get that real tacos because they come
Nah.
straight from the border, man.
I didn't get to get any tacos, sadly, but
Well, it's fine. You're not
Well,
missing
now you
anything.
gotta come
Nah,
back.
I'm just kidding. Nah,
Yeah.
the tacos are good up there. They get our leftovers.
all right. So, all right. Damn, where do we go?
Well, we're new and drifting. I guess we
Oh,
could
is that
talk
what we're
about
talking
drifting. Yeah, I know, right?
So all right. So when you finally did get back into events, what kind of setup did you have on the car at that point?
Nothing.
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 Like straight up nothing.
I got some C4 wheels from a buddy that had like they're probably like 10 years old. Like the timestamp was 10 years old. Dude, they were dry rotted. But by God, dude, they were just armor. They would not burn off. It was just rocks.
I've seen
But
some
it was
shit
good.
back in my day.
I know, right?
They don't make them like they used to, bro.
Dude, it was like driving on stone. It was like I did 3 events on one pair.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I was new, so I was spinning out.
What tracks were you going to?
I was going to the Houston Police Academy. So,
Oh.
there's a group called
Dude, is
IAS.
that where they bring the fucking police cars out?
Yes,
Yes,
Officer
dude,
Blaze.
Officer
Shout out to
Blaze.
that guy.
Yes.
Dude, that
Shout
guy
out to
throws
you.
down,
Yes,
dude.
dude.
He's a really cool dude. That
Dude.
guy throws down.
Yeah,
He's
I
awesome.
was surprised the first time I saw that thing go.
Dude,
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about feeling like shit. Because like he does the same layout we do, and I'm like, I've been fucking up on this. And he takes this like Explorer and nails it. It's like,
The soccer mom mobile.
Yeah, it's like-
Yeah,
fucking
dude.
US.
well, I'm quitting. I'm not drifting anymore.
Yeah. The best part is he'll throw his lights on and just,
Oh, and the sirens and everything.
I was
dude.
like,
it's
fuck,
awesome.
dude, this guy just
What a
making us
savage.
look like chumps. But that guy is really cool.
Yeah.
That guy's really cool. Officer Blaze. But so at IAS, well, the event is IAS. Lone Star also uses HPA, which is kind of nice because, the police are like, we have too much of a takeover problem. Like, just use our facility, which is really nice. It's really
Yeah.
cool. I hope they because I know in San Antonio, the police academy, they have one and they're like, nope, y'all can't use it. But it's
That's good.
it's like it's nice that
Fuck you guys.
Yeah, look,
it's nice that the the police are kind of engaging in the drifting community. Like like come and use our event because the drifting used to be held at the Greyhound, like a like a dog racing Greyhound track. So like down south. So I mean nobody really went. So they're using like the parking lot as like another source of income. So the drift events like Lone Star would run out of that. And then it got shut down. I mean, no one went, so it's just like they just sold it off, right? So obviously there's no more drifting there. So they started doing at the police academy. I think I wasn't really around in that area, but that's kind of what I heard and assumed. Yeah. But so that track for IAS is more of a new person. Like you can go there. They have a little spot that you can just do figure eights, donuts, and then there's another track on that same skid, like big piece of concrete that is really abrasive. But they have it's a peanut course. So you go out there and you do the peanut course. And they always said like, hey guys, if you're new, but if you can link the course like 3 laps, we'll throw you out on the big track. And it's a hot lap, right? So they don't want people to spin out and, slows everything down, right? If you have like a new guy coming out spinning out and stuff like that.
Just hold everyone up.
But yeah, it's fine. And so you go out there and like it's a hot lap. So you just go out there and do as much as you want. And then you come back in. But so I was doing it on this really abrasive course, and dude, this car was just like these tires just wouldn't go away, and I'm like, I need these tires to go so I can put some fresh rubber on, and they just wouldn't go away. Yeah. But I finally killed them. But yeah, like my first
taking them bitches off finally. I don't know. I give up, dude. I don't know.
I was really bad. I was like, nah, we're saving this money, right? So. I didn't have anything. Like the car, as it came from the factory is what I was drifting. And I was out there and this other guy, Zach, who also had a C5, he came over. He's like, hell yeah, dude, I'm digging your setup. And then I was like, dude, what do you have on your car? And he's like,
speaking of setup, what do you got?
Oh, yeah. So like I was looking at like the FDF, obviously. Like, they're big in the Corvette.
FDF.
So, but he had a Tomlin kit, which is this guy that lives in Illinois. And it's just out of his garage, kind of like, Josiah, like starting a garage, right? Yeah. And then started making his stuff. So I was like, that's kind of cool. I want to support that guy, support the lower guy.
Yes.
So
and it was affordable.
It was really affordable. It's like $350.
Yeah. Even still now, like the quality is compared to Weissfab, but the price isn't.
Dude, that guy.
And the communication. The communication, I swear to God, anyone can get a hold of him.
Oh, yeah. Dude, you can get, like, I was DMing this guy. I was like, dude, I put your kit on and my wheels don't fit. What do you recommend? And he's like, oh, here's my setup.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Sick.
And then so I just run. So on the Corvette drifting community Facebook thing, you can just type something like front wheels, and then somebody has some information about front wheels. So what, like, because I'm a cheap ass, right? So like I'm
a half price hot boy.
Exactly. I was waiting for that, right? So I was like, well, I really kind of don't want to buy wheels, right?
Yeah.
And so apparently you can run this base C5 17s and you just stick them out with 2-inch spacers and they're good.
Hell yeah.
So I was just like,
you budget boys out there, there you go.
You hit me up, man. I can tell you how to drift on the cheap with a Corvette.
And they look kind of like the 5-spokes look cool.
Yeah. It's like,
okay, then tell me, what are the key things to drift on the budget?
So if you're going to drift with a C5, wagon wheels. There's like, there's the base model C5 and they have like these really thin spoke ones. And then they have these ugly wheels, right? Nobody wants them. They are fucking ugly. They're really thick. They look like ass. But guess who buys them? This guy.
And a can of spray paint.
Dude, it's
show
like,
ready.
To me, like I'd rather buy OEM because they're way more strong than like, knockoff stuff, Chinese stuff. Because I actually had the C4 wheels that I had. They're actually fake OEM wheels.
Yeah.
And I actually smacked the curb and I broke it. It just shattered. Like it didn't even bend. It just fucking powdered, went everywhere. And I was like, oh shit. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna buy stock OEM ones. And like, I go off track and they're just strong because it's naturally strong from the factory. And like, I'm so new. I just want seat time. I want my ass in that seat, right? So
That's
instead
a
of
good attitude to take. Though.
so
Yeah.
I agree
like
with
I
that.
know drifting is very like style wise, like everybody has their unique style, but like for me, I'm so new that like like I could do a livery or I could get a bumper or
cool
something like
body
that,
kit.
and then I start doing the math and I'm like, holy shit, that's like 2 track days and like tires
Yeah.
that run that whole thing.
And
And I was
I
like,
see new people doing that, and they want to go into strictly style stuff, and which is like cool.
Yeah.
But like, set up underneath first.
I
and
want
learn
yeah.
how to
I want to be a
drive
badass before
you
I
go
like,
destroying
Yeah.
expensive parts.
like I want to look like a badass behind the wheel before
Exactly.
I like do
Trust
cool
me,
stuff to my
if
car.
you make your car look cool.
and you spin out all the
and
time.
Everything about it is sick, but you can't drive with the fuck. Every motherfucker is talking about you, and
Yeah.
everyone's making fun of you.
Versus
And that is the only time where drift community gets toxic. I promise. That's the only time.
But this-
but you asked for it.
Yeah,
Remember
but
that.
this guy has a stock 350Z, like nothing done to it, and he's out there sliding, and it's like, there's a stock 350Z just killing it, and people are like,
Yeah.
hell yeah,
People come
dude!
talk
Like,
you got
you
done
just
to
because
it,
you're
it's
driving
like,
good.
dude, what do you got? Like, how long you been drifting? I mean, I just started, right? Because like we
It's my
get
second event.
like to me, it's just like at my time in drifting right now, I don't care how the car looks. Yeah, I'm not gonna knock it down. Like, yes, to me, I really like the Corvettes. I know you don't. Or the the C5s, like you're a little
I just
ugly.
don't like the look of them. The
Yeah.
front end is just
Yeah,
weird. I hate the
it's
pop-ups
like-
on the C5.
I really like it, and the car is just it's just set up so well from the factory.
Mm.
The leaf springs, dog. Like, I'm not gonna lie, keep them leaf springs on,
Dude.
dude.
I mean, it's
They
a track.
work,
It's a
bro.
track
Dude.
car at the end of the day.
Like,
It's
obviously, if you want bigger angle, because right now, like with the Tomlin, it's just like it's just a mini Manus. But
Yeah.
instead of taking your hubs off, it bolts to the backside of the knuckle.
Yeah.
So I put that thing on in 30 minutes, both sides, no problem. And so what I'm trying to get at is that the only reason why you would need to go coils on a vet is if you want like more angle. In my opinion, I love the stock
Well,
leaves.
now I mean you're gonna be adjusting grip settings and stuff like that.
Well,
with
it's a
coilover,
it's
spring
a double
rates.
wishbone suspension, so you can dial in a little bit from
Well,
stock.
yeah, you dial
so
in height and stuff, and a little bit of how
camber
much- Yeah.
and stuff like that, caster.
But I guess until you're like can actually notice it, like, oh, I need more grip here. It's like, oh, like, 'cause
yeah,
we're I guess we're trying because the hardest thing for me right now is lines, like nailing.
yeah. I
certain
still go around and just
sections.
go wherever the cars is going is where I'm going,
Yeah.
right? Like that's kind of what I'm also trying to focus on.
Yeah,
Is like
it's-
I'm gonna pick an outside line today, or like this round, and like go out on the outside or more in middle, kind
Yeah.
of like try stuff out. Make sure I can, like, if I'm gonna put a car somewhere, I can put the car
So are
somewhere.
y'all tandeming at all?
Not yet.
Not
I
yet?
need to get a handbrake.
I just started with a
You
buddy.
don't need a handbrake to tandem.
That's true. Probably
Yeah,
not.
Just keep a comfortable distance.
Yeah.
I mean, your
Yeah, so
footwork's
that's
gonna
how
do
we're
most
doing
of
it.
the work of stopping you. So
Oh yeah.
you don't really ever want to rely on your handbrake to stop you
Yeah.
in the incident.
Oh
of a
yeah.
crash.
The less
But-
stuff you can use is the better, honestly, because it just builds you that muscle memory without having a crutch to lean on.
Well, yeah. I mean, you also have to have like, for if you're the lead driver,
Yeah.
and you know you're
Oh, that's
you're about
true,
to
yeah.
fuck up. What do you do?
Clutch
You know
in.
you're about to fuck up. What like
I hold the clutch in and hit
Yeah.
the brake a little bit. Is that
as
wrong?
the lead driver?
Well, he hasn't.
Well, I haven't really tandem yet.
He
Okay,
hasn't
that's
tandem
fair.
yet.
So
I just started this last event.
okay.
Like this last event, me and a buddy, we started. He's like, dude. He kept pressuring me, like, dude, you're doing good out there. Just lead.
Mhm.
And like, not gonna lie, it's like blackout for me because I'm just too scared to like fuck up, right? So he was
Yeah.
like, he's following me, like he's like, I'll keep a distance, right? So he's like following me, and I'm just looking at the road. I'm like, I don't know anything that's going on. He's like, dude, that was awesome, wasn't it? I'm like, I'm just trying not to spin out.
Yeah. Which
But-
that
Was someone
ideally
back
that's what
there?
you want to focus on as
Yeah.
a new person to tandem.
like I want to
just
get
hit
comfortable
the
knowing
line.
that there's somebody behind me,
Yeah.
right? Like I want to know, like, because right now it's like, oh, I can spin out, and there's always a gap that someone isn't going to come up on you on. But like knowing that there's some guy that's like right behind me, it does put a little bit on my nerves. But that's just with time, seat time. But
Alright, so have you spun in front of somebody yet?
not yet.
Not yet. Okay, that's good. So if you were to guess, then if you were about to spin out or something, what would you do?
I would just
in that
clutch in,
instance?
right?
Well, I would try to stay in one place and have the person
Just get off track.
behind you avoid you, ideally. Because if you just
I'm loving this. I'm glad y'all have no idea.
we about to learn today.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, for you guys and anyone out there, when you are in the lead position and you know you're about to spin, you can feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You can feel
Yeah,
when it
just
goes
lock
too
and
far
like,
and there's no way you could clutch in and just not give it any gas and it would just kind of slowly stop.
Yeah.
That's not what you want to do. That's too slow of a motion.
Oh,
So
you want to
if
spin
you've ever
fast.
seen on live streams when someone realizes that they're about to spin out, they fucking floor it.
Oh.
You spin out as fast as possible to get out of the way, and the chase driver can just continue his line. Now everyone says, "Oh my God, good save." It's a save, but that is pre-planned in case something happens. Always, whatever direction you're going, spin all the way out of the way.
Okay. See?
That way, the chase driver has more of an opportunity and an opening to get out of the way.
Now we know.
Now we know.
I'm just going to pin it.
Smoke show.
I
Yeah.
learned that because of the Corvette I took out. He didn't do that. He just parked it in the middle of the track and didn't spin out for me to go around.
I guess because you're not like as wide. You're more vertical.
Well, if I'm tandeming with you and I'm right here and we're going this way,
Yeah.
and you start to spin and you just let off and just keep sliding this way, I'm coming straight at you. So I either have to
you
I
get
either have
pushed
to
out on
dive
the,
in, I have
Yeah.
to stomp on it and put more angle in, and hopefully I don't tap you with my rear
Yeah.
and go around, or I have to come out of drift as quickly as possible and somehow swerve around you the other way. Either way is hard as fuck to do,
Yeah.
especially when you're going 80 miles an hour
Yeah.
on a sweeper or something
Yeah.
like that. So always lead driver, spin all the way out.
There we
Copy
go.
that. All right.
See, we're learning. We're new.
Learning. Yeah.
Hopefully, all
Yeah.
you new guys out there are taking notes.
Right.
There you go. That'll save your ass. I promise you. You'll do it one day and you'll be like, holy fuck. And you'll be staring at the other guy right in front of you. You're like, I'm glad. Thank God.
Ooh, I haven't had that yet, but
Yeah,
Because
I know.
even if that chase driver is just gonna stop instead of drive around, you're gonna be going this way and they're gonna be stopping.
yeah, you're sitting on the
this way.
line.
So you're gonna be spun around and you're literally gonna be probably facing each other.
Yeah.
That
Interesting.
makes a lot of sense, though.
Interesting. Now I know.
I'm glad you told
You're
me
gonna
that.
notice that in the live streams now when you watch Formula Drift.
Dude, right?
Dude, that's that's the only thing I'd be looking at now.
Oh shit, Dasha was right.
Yeah. Oh fuck. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. That's
So
cool.
all right, then what is something that you guys have noticed yourself being on track that you wish you would have learned in the beginning?
Ooh. So
I'll let you go first.
okay. So I have a hard time of like just telling myself just fucking do it. Just go out and do it, cuz like I would go and I like mess up but I'd be too timid. Like so say there's like a corner and I was doing it and like I don't know, there's something that's just off.
Mhm.
And like part of me like one day I was just like, oh fuck it. Send it. Like fucking send it. And I went through the corner cuz whatever I was doing was holding me back. So I wish I could theoretically, if when I started, just kind of have that don't give a fuck attitude to like just because that to me, for me personally, that once I had that mindset, I would tell myself to just do it. And then I would start progressing faster because I wasn't worried about hurting the car as much.
Well, once you finally did that, you realized you had to go faster.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's-
exactly.
I swear to God, that's everyone's problem.
So
Exactly.
that's exactly what I
literally
was gonna
everyone's
say.
problem.
Because like I loved grip driving, and you have to enter at a certain speed,
Yeah.
and it's like with drifting, it's like you go in a little bit faster.
The
than
faster
you,
you
think.
want to go, you just initiate slightly sooner.
Yeah.
That's
So
the only difference.
I was like, dude, to like completely get through the corner, you had to go in like this is probably way too fast, and it's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little
Because,
uncomfortable.
dude, literally at Ford Fest, that guy I was just telling y'all about before the podcast, I told him, because he kept going up to the bank and he would like let off right at the end, like where you were supposed to enter.
Yeah.
And then he would kind of like gently initiate. And I'm like, dude, just cut that shit out.
Yeah.
Go balls to the wall to the sweeper and bang that motherfucker out until you can't get any faster and you have to initiate.
Yeah.
And then once you do, you're going to go sideways. It's going to feel like you're going to spin, but you're not. You just immediately stomp on it. because what that bank's gonna do is it's gonna want to pull your wheels back up in front of you.
Oh yeah, we witnessed
So-
that.
Yeah.
That's why whenever you see people initiate, you see the tires scrub and the smoke come from the front tires because they're left foot braking to keep it where it's at and not pull itself back. And they're stomping on it immediately when they initiate. And I told him that the first lap out, he hit the sweeper.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, because, man, it is terrifying, though. But believe me, throw it in way harder than you, or way faster than you
It's
think.
scary as fuck when you're doing it right out of a wall, too, going 80 miles an hour. So I totally understood his fright.
You're
but
just like, yeah, trust me,
like,
it's going to
dude,
work
just
out.
do it. You built this car. It works.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because HPA and all these other tracks that we've been going to, it's been like 50. Like you would enter at 50 at like the big sweeper, like the big sweepers, right? So we never really got to experience like high speed. So we just came, at the start of September, we just went to TMS and like we were running
It's like an old FD layout.
Yeah, the old FD
FD
layout.
Texas.
So
Think way
that
back
first
in the day.
sweeper, they're like, that first corner, they're like, you're seeing guys like hit third gear, fourth gear and stuff and sending it. And I was like, dude, this is on another league.
Yeah.
Like we never experienced anything like that. So it was really tough, but it was so much fun when you can like throw it in at like 80, 85, like, and you can just hit it.
Come to the one of the NSS events here when they run the big sweeper. I looked down at my tack at one point and I was in 90 plus, but I did not that was in the middle, not in the middle, but like I wasn't initiated yet.
Yeah, you're
initiated.
Yeah, because once you start,
I had a little bit to go. So majority of people were hitting this sweeper at around 100 to 120 miles an hour.
Oh my god,
it's fucking gnarly.
Oh yeah,
and it's not the best sweeper. Like there's some ruts in it and shit. So, but the amount of like that, I said it on a podcast recently that I don't really feel wind. Like fresh air on you when you're drifting. I don't really feel that. I've never paid attention to that.
I don't notice it either.
The first time I hit that sweeper, I noticed air.
Ooh.
There was a lot of it.
Ooh.
But what they said beforehand was that they're going to be running it hot. So like, once we see your car disappear from the sweeper, we're sending another car.
Ooh, that's scary.
Don't get caught looking right over the nose of your car. So I think this is a good thing to bring up to y'all.
Yeah.
And a lot of people out there, if you haven't heard me say this in the past, don't get caught up literally looking over the nose of your car.
Yeah, you want to look down the...
If there's a long sweeper, especially when it's blind, because the inside, there's a wall. You can't see on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
So you're initiating, and you're looking at where you're drifting right in front of you, and then you finally look up, and there's a car that spun out right in front of you, too. And you're like, oh, fuck. And you got to quickly get out of the way. High-speed tracks, that is very common. You forget that you're drifting with other cars on track.
Yeah, I'm sure with your experience in road racing, they always say, don't look at the front of your hood. You're looking at the other corner.
Yeah,
you're looking at the other corner because whatever is at your hood, it doesn't matter. It's already gone. By the time it's coming up to your car, it's already done.
Yeah.
Like, you fucked up that line. You missed that apex. Sorry, bud.
If
Next
you
one.
notice in Formula Drift, you'll see the guys, when they're at a clipping point,
yeah, they're already looking.
They're like the clipping point's 10 feet in front of them. They're not looking at it. Even when it passes them, they're still looking way down to the next clipping point.
Which is like coming from, when I first started doing track stuff, it's difficult to like get over the habit of like watching the corner go by.
Yeah.
Because it's a bad habit at the end of the day. And it is kind of hard to break that habit. You just got to get out of the mindset.
You know what was really cool that I thought was a cool video? They put like the F1 drivers on like a sim rig, and then they had the eye tracking to see where they're looking, on the sim, so you could see where they're looking. And dude, they are looking off screen,
what?
like because they're not looking at the front of the car. Yeah. So it's a good to me. Like if you don't understand what we're talking about, like watch that video, like an F1 driver with the eye tracking as he's driving a sim.
That's
like
interesting. Yeah, I'll check that
you can
out.
see where he's looking, and he's looking 3 corners ahead.
Damn. That's crazy. All right. Well, what else we got?
Small go-kart stuff. Dude, our OG drifting days. We have some OG drifting days.
Yeah, we couldn't. Well, this was back when we were in high school, so we didn't have any sims or anything back then.
Yeah.
And our sim was his shitty go-kart.
Dude, it was like a 6.5 horsepower
Yeah, some Briggs
power
and Stratton
horse.
thing,
Yeah,
right?
it was
You know,
Northern Tool engine.
it was it only spun one tire. Like all the braking and the tire, like the power goes. But that thing can drift mean going hard. Left, it can't do anything. But so when we were starting drifting, I was like, oh, I can drift right, but going left, I'm like, what the hell? This is all new. But it was pretty cool because we would go to his park and then we just drift around and like just slide it around the grass, and then his mom was like, "Stop doing that! You're ruining the grass."
Tearing up the grass.
And then what did we do? We started wetting down the driveway and did it in the driveway.
Well, at first we put soap on there because this thing was top heavy. It was sketchy.
Oh yeah.
And we did soap, but then we just get it wet, and we had like almost a Gymkhana course set up where we'd had just like folding chairs, and you would drift around one, drift around the other, and it was a chair next to like a bush, and you would like wall tap the bush and go around another.
Free trimming.
And then like go around the whole thing. Dude, Kevin had a relatively viral video of it.
Oh yeah. So remember Car Throttle back in the day? I guess they're still doing stuff.
Yeah.
But remember when they were doing the send us a video, you'll go viral, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that stuff.
Viral.
So like, you know, I already had it. Like we filmed ourselves just because we're dumb. And I was like,
and it looked badass.
I just sent it out one day. And then like it was literally a year later. Like I just get woken up to my phone just exploding, and they're like, "Dude, you made it on Car Throttle," and I was like, "That's pretty funny."
It's like the caption was like, "Look out, Kim Block! There's a new like king of Gymkhana or something."
R.I.P.
Dude, and Kevin, not gonna lie, like it's like a child's.
It's made for a 10-year-old, and I was way fatter back
So
then.
you have like Donkey Kong and this like little go-kart. Shredding it though, shredding. Like,
Yeah.
it was awesome.
It was fucking awesome.
Damn.
Yeah, so if you can't afford a sim, get a go-kart.
And went down the driveway.
That's
Get
the
like
cheap version.
just get a yard. Like they call them like yard carts.
Yeah.
Just get a yard cart and just
Hell yeah.
because I feel like
Make it work.
that. Like you said, I can't do sims. I can't figure it out
Yeah.
because I can't do the feel. I don't feel anything. But with the cart, you kind of feel a little bit of that, you know,
Yeah.
initiation and
You get
that
the
sense
G's.
of like
The G
I gotta
force.
hold on kind of
Yeah,
thing.
and it teaches you, the basics of like, oh, well, I need to get tighter into this chair, so I gotta like adjust steering and throttle to get a little tighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, I want to do the big, and you just kind of adjust and you learn
Yeah,
that stuff.
Hell yeah. It gives you some of the natural aspects of it.
yeah, one way.
Yeah.
One way.
Yeah, or like you can get those, drift track. I don't know if those drift tracks are really anything, but if you could get
Nah,
you could get like a shifter cart, like not even a shifter cart because they're too expensive. But if you can just get a cart with a solid axle and just put the PVC pipes on them, I'm sure you can get
Yeah.
the exact same feel without wearing tires like we
Super
did.
low speed.
But they were literally wheelbarrow tires. So when we would
on this thing.
we would blow it up, we just go to Home Depot, get a tire, and throw the tire on.
Fuck
and
yeah.
it was like
Badass.
$5.
Perfect.
And it lasts like 4 summers.
Okay, so let me ask you this then. Since you are new to drifting technically.
Yeah.
What is something that you've noticed in drifting that you think could change to really help newbies?
I feel like if they at least like if the event had some sort of like new person only kind of like it's I don't know really.
so there's one event that's really, really good about it. They have the one course where you just literally do donuts around a cone.
Yeah, IAS.
And then the peanut course. So it's like super beginner friendly and it's awesome. But it seems like all the other events are just like, go.
Yeah, like they
you've been drifting for years.
Lone Star Drift, they're like, yeah, anybody can show up, right?
Yeah.
That was actually my first event was Lone Star Drift. And when I was like, I'm going to do this,
Mhm.
my first event was Lone Star Drift, but it was also when Aaron Losey had that NASCAR that he was just feeling it out for I think it was LZ's like invitational. So he was like, I rented the track. I need some money to recoup this track that I just rented. So like, does anybody want to come out and just do a track day? Because usually his stuff is competition. They have like a competition in the middle, but this was just open track day. So like I went out there and I was new and everybody knew I was new. They didn't like get on me. So
Yeah,
but it
so
was
that's
more
really cool.
intimidating
Yeah.
in my opinion, because I was going out on a track where all the big guys are like throwing it in. I'm like, dude, I don't know what I'm doing. Right? but this IES one, like they're like, oh yeah, dude, like here's the whole section of just new people.
Yeah.
And then like I feel like that's really good if you have like a track. Obviously, well, if you can do it, like if you have the space.
Mean, most event hosts and tracks aren't going to be able to do something like that.
That's what I'm saying, right? But it's also like, I don't know, early morning or something, like have a few hours for like new guys to kind of go out there and, you know, just learn the track or something. And then like, you know, because everybody.
Or even just a designated beginner's day.
Or a beginner's day, yeah.
Because we have some events here that there'll be like maybe 2 or 3 a year. Yeah. Where they'll be strictly beginner days and they'll go out and actually like train you.
Which is nice because it's like you don't have the intimidation of, I don't want to screw up in front of this guy.
Yeah,
and
you're like, there's all these shredders out there. Because at some of these events, it's always shredders. You're like, damn.
Well, yeah, obviously. When you're new, you're like, you don't want to look like new. But obviously you are. And you're like, oh, I don't want anybody to talk shit about me. But obviously no one talks shit. Like, you know, I'm watching new guys go out there. I'm like,
that's
hey.
everyone's fear.
You know?
It's always what holds everyone back.
Yeah,
so
it is.
Just quit being a... Never mind.
We get it.
Just do it.
Fill in the blank.
Just do it.
Beep.
Yeah. But that's kind of how I think would help. Or if you had some guys there that is strictly for instructing, like they would go out there with you on track. Like if they had like, oh, like we have these guys that aren't like, they're there to help new guys. So they just spend the whole time with you.
That's what Dustin Miles kind of tries to do. He'll actually mark off the section for the beginners because he uses Lanier.
Yeah.
Which is right down from Atlanta Motor Speedway. But he'll do this little corner which has like no cones. You can literally just go in there and try and do figure eights, donuts, whatever.
Yeah, figure eights are nice. One learning.
Yeah. And then he has the whole track laid out with K-rails and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he's there instructing. He's not really driving. He'll get in his little seat time car and go out and do a couple laps every fucking hour. Yeah. Basically. And then he's just hopping in and out of cars, talking to people, just helping people out. But he's a pro spec driver that has the experience. So that, like, people can actually trust what he says.
I thought it was difficult when I was first learning to drift. And because it was at that Mineral Wells event, there was like the track I was doing, there was no layout and no direction. You're just doing donuts. But if you have, all right, you have to go around this cone and then figure eight around that cone. And the peanut is my favorite. I learned more on that peanut than anything. Yeah. Because it's that weight transfer. Because you're sliding one way and then you have to learn to, you know, catch it.
Keep it in a barrier too. Keep it in between the cones. So it's like a little lane.
To me, the peanut layout is the most effective learning tool for drifting.
So it's literally just the shape of a peanut.
Yeah. So it's like it would almost be
a figure eight, but it doesn't connect.
It's big. It's like a bigger figure eight.
Yeah.
So you can like actually get some transitions instead of just like first gear or just like so like if you can get some speed, like it's just looks like a peanut.
Damn.
Yeah, that course really helped me. Yeah. Because you do learn how to transfer with speed.
Yeah. Okay. So how fast were the transitions to learn on that?
I think I was in like top-ish, middle of second in the 350Z.
Okay, so that's not too. You're probably going 30, 40.
Yeah, not crazy fast, but it's enough to learn. You know, because weight transfer to me was one of the harder things to learn. Yeah, in drifting was not just like
especially without an angle kit.
Yeah, just throwing it in way too hard and just spinning out, or not throwing it hard enough and it just straightens up. Yeah. So once you can get it just right, and the peanut is, like I said, I love the peanut. Yeah. Such a good course.
Oh, yeah. With no angle, you got to learn how to counter steer it whenever you finally transition and your weight is moving that way. It's just going to want to keep going since you don't have the angle to point it whatever direction. So you got to counter steer it, let it scrub the speed sideways, and then jump back into it. Yeah. It's odd.
Yeah, you're like,
yeah, a lot more wheel work with it.
Oh, yeah. And not to just floor it the whole time. It's like, oh, drifting, you just floor it the whole time, right? It's like, no.
Yeah, it helps.
It
helps. Yeah. So all right. So what's kind of y'all's plans for the cars? Like, what do y'all want to do? Is it comp stuff? Is it just have fun? Just
me. I want to do competition at some point. Like that's. So I'm slowly building it. Like what's done to my car right now is I've got a welded diff, I've got a GK Tech.
My
angle
booger
tape.
welds.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kevin.
son.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no problem.
In flip flops.
In flip flops.
buddy.
That's when you know they're going to be strong, though. If you're welding in flip flops, they're going to be some good welds.
But so
Damn it, Ricky.
don't weld like that.
I know, right?
But yeah, angle kit, welded diff. I had that. It's not really a mod, but I had that intake or whatever. So let's not count like power mods, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
fine.
I had a welded diff and an angle kit. That's pretty much what I have right now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Okay.
But next, I want to do I'm gonna do a handbrake next, and then I just got to take the dive and do coilovers and all that stuff.
Mhm.
But honestly, a stock 350Z, I did multiple events on the VLSD even. You're right. Everyone says that it wasn't that bad. I don't think for a little bit, dude. Well, yeah.
I
it
mean,
wasn't-
Give it 2 more years and some coilovers and rear arms, and you're gonna be like, dude, I don't know what the fuck I was talking about.
well,
I
I'm
was
retarded. That shit didn't drive for nothing.
it was a big.
You don't have the experience of what a car should feel
Sure.
like to understand that you were not drifting.
Okay, yeah. I
Because
mean,
the VLSD, like, dude, it does not lock. It literally doesn't. It sucks.
yeah, it was pretty bad.
You're power
like,
sliding at that point.
I
Your
guess
wheels aren't
I
actually
thought
spinning.
it was not that bad. But once I did weld the diff, I was like, damn, this is night day.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but honestly, me personally, I think a welded diff angle kit 350Z is
money.
top notch.
Nah. No.
Okay.
No.
So I need to just nut up and spend the money.
Your coilovers should have came first before anything.
Well, I haven't. Oh, really?
True rear coilovers and then rear arms.
Okay.
That's the first thing I always suggest to people.
Sure.
Because that's how you're going to get the best drivability out of the car for a cheaper budget. Like angle kit, fuck that. Don't get an angle kit yet. Learn how to drive the car rather than like just baby yourself with an angle kit.
Yeah.
You'll learn how to drive it. You'll get the feel of what a car should feel like with grip.
Oh, yeah.
You'll have the nice handling because you'll have coilovers, especially being true rear. And you'll be able to straighten your alignment out in the rear. And then once you learn how to drive it that way, you get the angle kit and you're Gucci. What angle kit did you say you had?
GK Tech, like the bolt on.
The simple bolt on
Yeah.
kit? Okay, well that you're gaining like an extra 5-10 degrees. Like it's not. You're barely overstock. You're fine.
Yeah, no way in hell I would spend big money on a big like Wise Fab kit or something like that yet, you know. But
Yeah, we both did quite a bit of events on just
yeah.
stock angle.
Yeah,
Like,
good.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, I think I didn't do angle. I've
I
only
mean, I
done-
would consider the basic GK Tech basically stock angle.
Oh,
'Cause
okay.
it's literally not that far off
Yeah.
to matter.
The vets are just terrible.
I remember my Z when it had no angle on it, and then I drove Dustin Miles' little seat time Z that has that same exact kit, and I had the super lock kit after that. And dude, no, I was just like, fuck, I can't just keep going. I can't go back to that. I could figure it out in a
Sure.
couple hours, but
Mhm.
like, holy shit, I'm used to hucking this motherfucker in and like eating because I
Yeah.
have my car so gripped up. I had it gripped up front. A lot of people don't like a lot of front grip, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So coilovers is what I should buy next.
Coilovers and rear arms, but you have to get true rear.
Oh yeah.
So coilovers, rear arms, and a bucket seat.
Bet. All right, Kevin, when are you gonna get rid of those seats, dog?
Bucket seats are big. Do y'all have bucket seats?
Yeah, a bucket.
Yeah,
You do?
Kevin has
Okay.
some, but
Do you?
he's trying to upgrade. And I
Yeah,
don't know
they're
about
like
his.
kind of all right buckets. Like,
It's
I wouldn't
a
say they're
fixed bucket though. It's not
it's
a
a-
reclining bucket.
no,
right?
it's
Okay.
fixed.
Yeah.
Then yeah, that's fine, whether it's fake or not. Like when I first got my seat and I could actually feel what the car was doing, I was like, whoa, dude, I can actually drive this thing now.
Yeah.
I will say going like because my Miata had like a hardcore seat, so like when I was doing the grip driving, it made the world of difference.
Yeah.
Because the stock seat, you're like, you're
And
just
drifting,
like
it's
holding on.
worse.
Yeah.
Because you're literally slinging yourself around the car.
Yeah.
I would do my Z seats whenever they were the fabric ones too. They weren't even leather. I'd be fucking sliding all over, trying to hold on with the steering wheel, which is throwing me out of line. Like
Yeah, get
no.
the leather ones.
Oh, dude, you're fucking up bad.
Damn it.
I don't know, he shreds out there though.
Just imagine when he puts a bucket seat and some coilovers in.
Exactly.
You're gonna be ripping like
time.
a motherfucker. But I would definitely say get the rear arms when you get your coilovers because it's gonna piss you off.
Oh yeah.
Whenever you lower it and then you have no rear grip because you got too much camber.
Well, that was part of my like why I haven't done coilovers yet because it's like if you buy the coilovers, yeah, you have to do the rear arms. It's like it's a lot of money.
Have you heard my cheat code for the rear arms though?
No.
Well, that's very simple. You only need 2 of them. You need the tow arm and the bucket delete. That's it.
And
you can get whatever setting you want out of the rear. I was running like 1/2 inch toe in the rear.
Damn.
A lot. And I could run
a
positive degree of camber if I wanted to. But my car didn't have that much squat, so I didn't have the need to.
Mm-hmm.
But like you can get whatever settings you want out of just 2 arms on a Z and a G, of course. But.
All right. Well, looks like I get some money to spend.
Let me know.
Burning after this
Wait,
Tennessee trip.
Get you some BC drift spec.
Okay, yeah. Are those like the $1,200 ones?
Yeah, they're about 1,100.
Okay.
But that's the quality of BC for that price beats any other coilover company.
That's what I was gonna do anyways, because there's cheaper ones out there, but the spring rates are insane.
Yeah,
it's like oof.
Yeah, ideally
it was like $12K in the rear, and I was like, bruh.
No, you want around $12K up front, and then it's about $8K in the rear, $6 to $8K in the rear normally.
See, that's what I was thinking. The cheap ones were just way off. I was like, I can't buy the cheap ones.
Yeah, no. Buck up and buy the BCs and get you some rear arms. You're gonna be like, whoa, this is a whole different car.
Bet.
So, yep. Well, I guess let's close it out with your best piece of advice to anyone getting into drifting, which should be fairly easy to you guys.
If you have friends that can do it with you, man, it makes it so much better. But really,
mentors are everything. I'll always say that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. To me, like what we were saying earlier is that for me, I always felt like I didn't want to go do it alone. Like no one wants to do anything alone. If you can have your buddies with you, like you can hype yourself up. But I actually went out there and just said, fuck it. I'm gonna fucking do it. I don't give a shit. So you got to have that, like, you got to do it, man.
Just
like,
do it.
There was one event I went to by myself, knew nobody else was going to be there. That was like my closer friends. And I swear to God, till this day, it was one of the best events I've ever driven.
Seriously?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have the pressure of, like, because what you're talking about, being a newbie, having pressure to go drive, you still have that pressure whenever it's your buddies, because you don't, like, you want to keep up with the pace that they're getting to with their driving skill. So you're pressuring yourself then too. So you go to an event and you have nobody to, like, no pressure.
Yeah.
You're just there to drive. I had some dude with a camera walked up to me and was like, "You care if I ride along with you today?" I was like, "Sure, whatever." And he literally, every lap I went out, he was in the passenger seat.
Dude, I love giving ride-alongs.
Yeah.
Dude, he was cool as fuck. I've never talked to him after that. Never seen him a day in my life.
You gave him a great
that.
experience.
Yeah, but like that was one of the best events because nobody was there. Had nothing to worry about.
Actually, what actually got me to finally sit down and do it was I rode with Ben Hobson when they came to Drift Week. And he's like, "You want to jump in? You have it." I was just walking around with a helmet. He's like, "You want to jump in?" I'm like,
yeah.
Duh. So I jumped in, and then we're sitting in line in the back, and he goes, "Oh, look, Luke Fink's right next to us. He's going to ride with us." I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" And so I look over, and, you know, that guy just puts it always on his vet. He always puts it on the door if anybody's chasing. So he's like right there, and I'm just looking at him, and I'm like, I had the camera like obviously recording, but I wasn't even looking through the camera.
Yeah.
Like I was like experiencing the whole thing. And then I kind of feel bad because like Ben was like, "How was that?" And I was not really saying anything, but it wasn't that I didn't have a good time. It was like right then it all clicked. I was like, "Oh fuck, I got to do this." Yeah. And then I was like, right then I just started like thinking about like, what do I have to do?
Marketplace was like, my best friend for a month.
it was like it switched, and I was just like, I was quiet because I was like, "Oh my God, I have to do this." Like, I have to get to that level. Like, I'll do whatever it takes. And he's like, "How was that?" I was like, "That was fucking awesome." But in reality, I was like, "Holy fuck." like, that was so sick.
Yeah, the more psyched you get when you're riding with someone, the harder they drive. I will say that.
Yeah.
If someone's with me, you're like, "Oh, dude," I go even harder.
Because we do like one of the events they do paid ride-alongs for the drivers. So it's kind of nice. It's like it's in Dallas, so it actually gives us an incentive to drive to Dallas, and then you can get because they give back some money. They take a portion and then they give the rest to the drivers. So it's like I go out there, I'm like, cool, that paid for my fuel for my diesel to get up there, and the track, like in the event, all I paid was tires. And the cool part is you get to meet new people, and then like he was doing with the Drive Exotic guys, they're like, oh, like how long you been drifting? I was like, I don't know, I just started. And then you're like, what? And then you go out there and try it. It's like awesome. It's fun fucking with those people. But it's like, yeah, so what's like you drive it, then like if someone's just going crazy, oh man, you just lay it in a little bit harder. Like and then you just like you give it to them, right? Like because obviously if someone's hyping you up, you want to go harder. So if you're out there just kind of like, oh yeah, you're like, cool, how was it? It was cool. All right. But I feel bad. That's how
get the next person in here.
Yeah, no, right?
I don't like you.
Well, nah, I always enjoy having somebody in the car.
Oh, yeah.
It's always fun.
No, I know.
Sharing the experience. Because you never know. I actually had how Ben did that to me. I did it to another kid. So he jumped in the car.
It's cool to get the reverse part.
And then the very next event, he goes, dude, I brought my 350Z out. I was like, hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. I was like, cool. I just immediately did exactly what Ben did to me. So it was awesome.
Yeah. Bad financial decisions.
Oh, yeah. That's also a good thing. Like, if you're new, don't throw your life away for it. There's, please be responsible with your money.
Yeah.
Like, it goes hard fast.
I will say it's, oddly enough, some advice I have is buy a tire machine.
Oh, yes. We own a tire machine.
Just don't put it in your trailer.
Yes.
Does it beat it up?
Nope.
No, it's just hot.
Oh, because everyone else.
No. Well, yeah, everyone else will try and use it, but you'll never mount your tires. You'll wait. You'll throw them in the trailer, and you'll wait until you get to the event to do it, and you'll never mount your tires before the event.
I can't afford any clothes because I can't do that. So I don't have to.
Well, yeah, me either. You saw my open trailers just sitting out there.
Oh, yeah. I love open trailers.
But I will say the amount of money, because we went in together on a tire machine.
Yeah, get a buddy to buy the tire machine with you.
And honestly, the amount of times I've changed tires and like all this, it's paid for itself by now.
Yeah, because you can flip it on the wheel, and then that's like, because you're paying somebody to just flip the tire if you, and all that stuff, so you can wear the other side if you're all fucked up. But because HPA is it's mainly right-handers, so you just scrub the driver's side. Like,
oh, yeah.
So it's like
that's annoying.
Yeah, so you gotta constantly like flip tires, like swap them side to side, but yeah, flipping tires on a tire machine will save you a lot of money.
Yeah, just don't be afraid to just
and a lot of time.
Yeah,
don't have to take anywhere. You go out in the garage and flip them.
Yeah.
And if you're thinking about drifting, just honestly do it.
To me, the best part is when friends come over and then they ask like, "Can I use your tire machine?" I'm like, "Do you got beer?" Fridge is stocked, baby.
One beer.
Yeah.
Fridge is stocked.
You better add something to the community fridge. Brandon, if you're watching, you know what I'm talking about.
But
hell yeah. Well, cool. I guess if you want to plug yourselves, plug any.
Yeah, you can follow me, Hibachi_drifts. It's an old nickname. But sponsors, hit me up. Insert sponsor here.
Yeah, right.
But that's pretty much it for me.
It's pretty empty here. I don't see
any logos
or anything.
LZMF.
I know. I know, right?
Yeah, my shirt's empty.
No, look at that.
Proper.
Free real estate.
Yeah.
It's free real estate.
Mine's just Caleb Stogsdill, all one word. But I'm very bad at posting. I need to get better.
Yeah.
So if you want a really boring follow me.
Hell yeah. Well, all right. I appreciate y'all coming on. Y'all had a little bit of a drive from where you came from.
We flew.
Texas,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
We made a fun trip out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was definitely like, you know what? I've been working too much. Let's go do something.
Take some
fuck this work
PTO.
shit. Let's go.
Exactly.
Hell
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate y'all making the trip.
Thanks for
It's
having us,
awesome.
man.
Dude,
Thanks for
really
letting us come up and
appreciate
do
it.
all this. This is
Yeah.
awesome.
Talking our shit. That's all we do. But of course, if you are still watching, I really appreciate it. And go ahead and hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell notification. Don't forget, if you want to be the spotlight of the outro, make that real. Tag me. And if you get the most likes, at the end of the week, it'll be you. But that's it for this one. I really appreciate it. And we will see you next week, every Sunday. Peace.
Later.
Bye, Mom.
Dad, I love you.
Oh, man. That was
was fun.
Shaniqua, I miss you.
Stacking way up to the ceiling. Trust no bitch, can't catch no feelings. I've been taking long flights from the Bay to Ibiza. Hit home runs, I'm a ball like Jeter. I just want fuck, then I leave. I'm a young